I don't care if you don't give a damn about what your brothers say. You just want to see the whole world burn. I am your host, your boy Blue, coming to you live direct from the stack. Smoke me out, found that dang shit. And this is Black and the Black times Infinity. I almost forgot to throw that shit in there. People are like, what the fuck are you into? On my far left, missing up on the ones and twos, is Kronos.
What's going on, y'all? We're back.
Back up in this bitch. And on my far right, we have the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja.
You know what? In these times, I just can't be lashing out like some raging entitled maniac. That's white man's luxury.
Damn. That's fucking for sure. You get shot if you're not. All right, we back up in it. It's Wednesday, 8:30-ish.
Ish. We're on CP time, y'all. Sorry.
Yeah.
All about that ish.
Uh-huh.
Ninjas.
I have some statistics for you. Listener of the week would be Markow. Thank you very much for listening. And we have a bunch of listeners in, I think, China, in Ho Chi Minh City. That's kind of surprising. I think that might be the first time. Or maybe that's Hong Kong. I don't know. Where's Ho Chi Minh City? I thought it was somewhere in China. I could be very wrong. I'm pissing somebody off.
Yeah, that sounds like Vietnam, but I'm just saying.
Actually, yeah, I think you're right. Damn, I fucked that all up.
Damn.
I really don't think China would let us broadcast our stuff over there.
Well, you never
I'm
know.
Just saying. True, but.
What are they are able to use VPN?
Yeah, definitely Vietnam. Jesus Christ. How'd I fuck that all up? Sorry, I saw the flag, and I didn't. I mean, it's a very similar sort of flag.
Oh, flag, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, is it like Italy and India? Are their flags very similar?
No,
India got the symbol in the middle.
It's red and yellow. God damn it.
Yeah. Italy and Mexico have similar, because they have the same colors, but the designs are different.
I'm looking up the Vietnam flag, and it's red with one giant yellow star in the middle, and China is red with a little yellow star in the upper left, and a bunch of little half circle yellow stars in the upper left. So it's similar, but I should have known better. Especially I'm a Marine. I know about the Vietnam War. Jesus Christ, it's not a brain fart, I guess.
Happens to the best of us.
What is it? I'm trying to look at flags that look the same. And this is funny. Like New Zealand and Australia flags look very similar.
Yeah.
Ireland and I don't even know how to say this word.
Because they are on the same continent, even though a lot of people think that Australia is a country.
Like these two flags, like the colors are basically flipped. It's crazy. Freaking Norway and Ireland, their flags are very similar. They're just opposite colors.
You know, there's like no. I think there's either no or very few flags that have the color purple in it because it's supposed to mean royalty, so nobody uses the color purple.
That's interesting.
All kinds of other colors though.
Mm-hmm.
And first in the chat would be Mike. What's going on, man?
Mike, what's up? Mike Wazowski?
No.
All right, we back up in this. Old Ninja usually has some RIPs to throw out there.
Not this week, actually. Did not scour or anything catch in the news or in my eye.
Wait, there was one big celebrity that passed away this week.
Here we go. I know what you're going to say.
What was it? I don't even know how to say the name. Poxicani Phil or something like that? Is that how you say that?
It's a groundhog.
It's a groundhog, yeah.
Yeah, I guess a groundhog that they keep using for years on end to determine if we're going to have... if he saw his shadow. I guess he died. I don't know how old the groundhog was.
Must have been pretty old, because, I remember Poxitani Phil from, like, Groundhog's Day, the movie. That was in, like, the 90s. Or maybe there's more than one. I don't think groundhogs live that long.
Yeah, I was about to say, did they even live 10 years?
Yeah.
He's got a wiki page, so let's see. It doesn't.
6 years. Usually 2 to 5, but a little up to 6 years. So it's definitely more than one Poxitani Phil. Had to have been.
I was about to say, because like on here it says 1887, so I'm like, wait, hold up, that can't be right.
Also, having a groundhog predict shit is stupid. So, just saying.
That's like old wise tale type things. The fact that we've been doing it for like over 200 years.
It's like some snake oil shit, or racism.
Yeah,
whatever.
I wonder how accurate he's been. Like, is there statistics to say like how, oh, he didn't see a shadow, so we got more winter or something like that. Like, how accurate was his predictions?
Yeah.
It's funny. These pictures, every time someone's holding them up, he looks pissed off. Like, put me down, human.
Wait, okay. On here it says that he was 100% accurate. Claims, okay, it says claims he was 100% accurate and approximately 80% accurate in record predictions.
It says that actual weather from that year, Phil was only, I'm reading from Good Morning America, was like 40% accurate.
Yeah, I've seen that too now.
Yeah. So,
Damn.
That's almost, that's less than 50-50.
Yeah, we should stop that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun tradition, but we shouldn't base it off of like any kind of scientific weather predictions. Unless, he's from a parallel universe where, he's predicting the weather and stuff correctly.
So, I already know. So, what's his name? How do they pronounce the name?
Punxsutawney Phil?
So if you notice the name, the name should tell you that he's probably a fifth-dimensional imp.
Yeah.
He's able to see his shadow, and the shadow talks back to him. So, just saying.
What's it about the Superman character that fucks with Superman all the time?
So I thought it was Mxyzptlk, but he doesn't have. He has no vowels in his name. So in Supergirl, they pronounce it Mxyzptlk.
Yeah.
So. Sure.
Yeah. It's like one of those words that you just know it because you heard somebody else say it.
Yeah, and on Super Friends, Superman pronounced it Mxyzptlk, but on Supergirl they pronounce it Mxyzptlk. I was like, what?
I think on Geek History Lesson they mentioned that too. How like you've never seen the word said out loud, but you just based off of like what you've heard. Like it's hard to determine like how it's actually said.
Mm-hmm. There's no vowels. So I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, you should pronounce this shit. So right. There's also Batmite, who's also another fifth dimensional imp. So.
Well, there's also that like Supergirl's got one too now. That's a woman. That they have going on in Supergirl. But I don't think she has like a normal name.
Yeah, her name's like Sarah or something.
Yeah.
Something like super easy to pronounce. I'm just like, what? Oh, Nixley. That's her name.
Nixley, yeah.
But her name has no vowels either. It's like NXLTL or something like that. Yeah.
What was the name of that cult that the one girl from Smallville was part of? Like.
I don't know.
Neximus or something like that.
I didn't get too deep into it, but I know there's a documentary about that cult on HBO Max. So
yeah,
I didn't get a chance to watch it though. I heard it's in 4 parts. Apparently, it's pretty informative.
That whole fucking thing was crazy. Like going back into the stories. I know like the guy who plays Lex, he has like a podcast, and he talks about it every now and then because it comes up in subject because they were co-stars on a show.
Wait, was he in Smallville? John Cryer?
No, it's it's somebody else.
Yeah, the guy from Smallville.
Yeah, from Smallville. What's his name? He was he's the voice of the Flash in the. I have it up right now. His name is.
He was a great Lex.
Oh yeah, he was probably one of the best. Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that guy. Okay, yeah. I was thinking of the other Lex.
No. Are you talking about the guy from like Smallville, like Superman, Supergirl?
Yeah, that's John Cryer. Yeah. That's what I was, because I'd never seen Smallville, so I'm like, what were you talking about? So,
dude, it's pretty good. It definitely lives up. Like it's like I think it's like 13 years old now, but if you go back and watch it, it's pretty fun to watch.
There's like 12 seasons, isn't there?
There's only 9 seasons, and then the 10th season was a comic book.
Still a lot.
Yeah, I watched a whole bunch of them because I was back I think I was in the Marine Corps when that show came out, early 2000s. Yeah.
It's been 10 years since it stopped airing, so it's been a good 20 years since it originally came out.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, fellas, what are we going to get into first?
When do y'all want to start?
Let's talk about actually, no, first, before we talk about the Joe Rogan thing, I'm gonna do another Black History Month book recommendation before we start getting into the whole meat and potatoes of the podcast. The next book recommendation that I have is a book called The Warmth of Other Suns. It is a great book about the migration of African Americans after slavery and like during the Jim Crow era, and even like well past that. It's a group of, I think it's like three, maybe four groups of people that migrated from the South to the North or to California. And it's like really interesting to hear their stories, to see like how they did and what they had to go through, because they weren't all like bad stories. Like one guy ended up being like a pretty well known doctor, and back then like being a black doctor was a huge deal because he would basically help out his community, being a doctor. So yeah, it was a great book that was recommended to me by a friend of mine from high school a while back.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna throw in a little fun fact. So a little fun fact after Black History Month, the creator of the Super Soaker was a black man. He was a former NASA engineer. His name is Lonnie Johnson.
Yeah.
And what's also cool about him, he also created the Nerf gun. So you should thank this guy for the awesome stuff that you played with as a kid.
He's apparently made several inventions. Like there's a picture of him with everything he's invented, and there's like a ton of stuff. Like he holds a few patents. So
did you know that NERF is an acronym?
Yes.
Non-expandable recreational foam.
Yeah.
I did not know that. More
I
fun
knew
fact.
it was an acronym, but I always forget what the E and the A stand for. I knew the N and the F was for foam. It's still
This
fun.
guy is actually, he's still kicking, and he's 72 years old, which is crazy cool.
Good for him.
He kind of looks like the black guy from. I'm not trying to say all black people look alike, but he kind of looks like the black guy from Courthouse. Looks like the black guy from Courthouse.
What's Courthouse?
Or Night Court.
Oh, I'm all
Yeah.
Night Court was a great show from the like late 80s, early 90s.
So good.
Yeah, it was.
So good. I keep telling people, like, if you want a kind of an idea of what Night Court was about, picture Al Bundy as a lawyer, and you get Dan Fielding. It's awesome. I love that.
All right, so that's your Black History Month lesson for the day.
Yeah.
There's some other cool stuff that's actually been popping up. Like earlier today, I posted there was a girl who discovered that her grandmother was actually black, and this girl looked like a white girl. She looked white, and it turned out her grandmother had a secret, and like she passed away, and she took her secret to the grave with her. And apparently when the family did 23andMe, the girl found out that she was like 50% black, and she's like, wait, what? So like, 23andMe, I guess they kind of link you with other people, and like she actually learned the backstory of her grandmother, that she was a black person who could pass as white, and she basically like left her family and just created a whole new identity and just identified as a white person and just lived that life. And kind of what's crazy is that like back then, like that's actually pretty common for people to do that. I think there was also a baseball player. I don't know if he was black, but I think he might have been Latin, and he was going to play for the baseball league, and they literally told him that he has to pretend that he's white for him to play on his team, and he was like, "No, I'm not." Oh, I think they talked about this on Lovecraft Country. I think there was a scene where they talked about that, where like the guy was on the bus and like he was like, "No, I'm not going to do this," and he just went and continued playing for the Negro League. But like, it's just interesting to know that like there's like people did this back in the day. Like you could pass as white, you probably would you had a better life basically, which is kind of sad. But what's also kind of interesting is that like if you were found out, like that was prison for you. Like they probably would bury you under the prison if they found out that you were,
or just lynch you,
yeah, or just lynch you or hang you or something like that. So
I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty good. It was actually kind of, I mean, if you were what we now call white adjacent, it was actually pretty common. For instance, we kind of talked about the entertainer, comedy actress. She was basically she did the lamb chop puppet. She died a couple of years ago. I don't know if y'all remember the lamb chop puppet. She was part African American, but she completely looked white. And so she kind of like hid that from talent agencies and basically went as white. And I guess later on in like the 80s, she like introduced people to, I believe her father was black. Yeah. So people had no idea because she could totally move within two different worlds, but if she wanted to, but
Her
it's
name
pretty
was
crazy. Also, in that story that Blue is talking about, the grandmother who passed said that there was no other family. Come to find out, she had like 10 brothers and sisters, or 19 or
Yeah.
something like that. She had a huge
It's a crazy
number. Huge number scattered across the country, and she totally lied about it.
And like in a later picture, in a later post, she posted a pictures of her grandmother, and like, dude, she looked black, but she just had like white features, which was crazy.
Like Lena Horne. Lena Horne is, I mean, she definitely was part of the black community, but she could pass for white. So there you go.
Interesting stuff, man.
All right, let's talk about the Joe Rogan thing. Since we're podcasters, he's like the largest podcaster ever, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about him previously about the
very briefly.
Yeah, about the misinformation thing and people, pulling their musicians were pulling their stuff off of Spotify, and yeah, I mean they could do that. People were talking about free speech, but yeah, you're also free to like take your music off of whatever platform that you want. If you're the artist and you own the music, why aren't you free to do that? Why would you force that? So I never understood that part of the argument. And so Joe Rogan actually did a video and apologized about that. And then, of course, if you apologize, people they see blood in the water and they still come after you. But this one was sort of more of a disturbing one, even though I know most of the backstory of this. So there's a video of, what was her name? Was it India Ari? Was that her?
India Ari, yes.
Yeah.
But, okay.
She posted a video of basically every single time he said the N-word on his podcast, and another one of him talking about he went to watch a movie, I think it was
Planet of
the Apes. And he talked about how he basically opened the door and he was in Africa. There were only white people there, and that's where they cut the video off. And it was just like, or they were the only white people there. It was like he was in Africa because he was in like a black neighborhood, and that's where they cut the thing off. And so, even though I know the vast majority of the times where he said the N-word, it's still. I mean, and I know that they were mostly in context of him repeating something. Like there was like I think it was one of Richard Pryor's stand-up routines. Like one of his albums was called the N-word. And see, I'm not even saying the word. I'm just gonna say the N-word. And there's a bunch of other things where he would just say the N-word like after like repeating people or talking about the word as in like how it's so weird that nobody else can say the word because it comes up with all these things. Though that's the context of almost every single time that he said it that I've heard it, but it's still jarring to hear, even me like hearing him say that when I was listening to it, when I was still listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. And yeah, the internet came after him and was just like, people were pretty pissed. We put out another video apologizing about it and, talking about the context that it was in. The one about, the Planet of the Apes, literally where they cut the video off at. Right after they cut the video off, he goes, "Damn, that sounds hella racist." And then he talks about that's not what he really meant. And then he breaks down that he had a lot of fun because there's like a bunch of black people in the theater. But if you, even if you say something like that,
yeah,
if you realize that it's racist, like after you said it, it's like, oh, you kind of fucked up there. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Did you watch the snippet of him talking about the Planet of the Apes on his podcast?
Yeah,
I watched it. So when I saw it, they actually they don't cut when he says it. He literally says, because he's talking about like his Uber driver or whatever, or the cab driver dropping him off, and like the screen is split into three. It's him in the middle and two other white guests on his show, and he's like, "Oh, the guy dropped us off in Planet of the Apes."
Yeah,
and he says it several times. And like these guys are laughing, they're cracking up laughing.
It wasn't several times. I remember the exact thing, but I mean, I'm not going to stand for this dude. But I also don't like when people take it out of, they add in additional shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he says it more than once. He's like, "Dude, we were in the Planet of the Apes. We got dropped off in the Planet of the Apes."
So he got dropped off in Africa.
Yeah, he says that as well. But the other guys, they thought it was funny, and he thought it was kind of funny too. And I was like,
Well,
And then right after that, he said, "Damn, that sounds hella racist. That sounds racist." That's literally what he says right after that. That's probably part of the video that you don't see because people cut it off right there.
yeah,
but
I
like
did,
one
that
like
part I didn't see. You're right.
like I actually seen the entire thing, and like when he mentions the whole Planet of the Apes things, he talks about how like he said the same thing on Twitter, and people came after him on Twitter, and it's like you basically repeating the same joke, like live, even though like people give you
Yeah.
shit for saying something similar of that on Twitter. But then like when he does, he talks about how like yeah, it was a mistake. Like, he said like wow, that was really racist, but like you still fucking said it. Like,
Yeah.
if I know you might say you're not racist, but like you still said something fucking super racist, basically saying black people are fucking monkeys. And like when I saw that, I was like, this is some bullshit. But then I kept watching the video because he talks about how like, you know, the people recognize him, saying like, oh hey, yeah, you're the guy from Fear Factor. And he said he had a good time. But then he also brought up some shit like, yeah, and then like there was a black person there with like their kid, and it's already like 11 o'clock, and his kid's like 2, and it's like, I don't know, just that kind of irked me. Like you're just trying to you're bringing up stereotypes about black people when it comes to like movies and like how we take our kids somewhere when they should be like having like babysitters. So he kind of still kind of tiptoes around like black stereotypes when he's talking about like being at the movies with everybody. But yeah, just the I don't know, just the way it started off but well, the way it started off already had me on the negative side, and so I kept watching this to see exactly what he talks about. But then like I think because my eyes were already kind of red, I just noticed every little thing that he's talking about. But like I don't know, it just didn't seem cool to me.
No, I mean it wasn't. I mean, right? I mean, rightfully so. I mean, he apologized, and you know, I think he should have apologized because I think that is. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've said some shit on this podcast that's been, you know, just me specifically, that's been disparaging to some people. And if you go back, you know, throughout like all of this, we've been around for a while now. You can hear me say all kinds of fucked up shit that I don't agree with today. But at the same time, you know, just got to take those licks. You know, you said it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, personally, with the whole movie thing, I'm not so sure. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the area that we live in, but I see a lot of people, all ethnicities, bringing very young children.
I hate that shit.
To
by the
like
way.
late night fucking
Yes.
movies.
Oh, yeah.
For me, it's actually worse when you go to an R-rated film
Yeah.
and they bring children at any time during the day. That bothers me because I'm just like, why are these kids in here when there's going to be, you know, sex and blood and shit and cursing, and you got like some 2-year-old up in here? Like, what the hell? Like, what is that about?
Or babies,
So
like
that
actual
bugged
babies.
me.
Yeah, babies crying,
Yeah.
and then it wants the baby out, and just like, dude, come on, like for real. I'm talking
Yeah.
just everybody in general. So stop doing it.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a kind of a universal kind of thing. But another one that I saw the snippet of is where he was talking about how the N-word was like a magical word and how we can't say it. But then he brings up other racial epithets, and he's just like, oh, these don't seem to hit as hard. And like, why is this N-word so much more? It's as if he doesn't understand the impact of the word. And he's talking to another white guy, and he's like whispering and stuff. And he's like, you know, even saying it can get you in trouble, but like saying these other words don't seem to have an impact. And the other guy brings in like a racial slur for Asian Americans. They're like, oh yeah, that one's kind of bad. You know, they don't like saying that one. And he's like, well, but the N-word's like magical. It's like you can't say it, you know. And he's like whispering to the he's all, say it. I dare you to say it. And the other guy just says it just like that. He doesn't even hesitate. I'm just like, really? So those are the snippets I have seen. I haven't seen his full podcast because I know the people that are defending him are saying, well, it's being taken out of context. You don't know the surrounding conversation. He could be quoting someone, yada, yada, yada. But then I look at something else. I look at, you know, a fact that happened that Spotify, who pays him and hosts his podcast, took down 70 of his podcasts. Granted, he does have 1,800 plus podcasts.
Yeah.
So
and most of those podcasts that were taken down were not ones that had anything to do with the N-word or anything like that.
Oh,
So yeah, I mean, numerically, he said it like 20 something times. They took out 70
something
podcasts.
Like that,
so,
yeah. But also in comparison, 70 out of 1,800 is not a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it was like Alex Jones, some other controversial figures that he's had on. Yeah, it's when people talk about like the word and like how it's a magical word, it's like yeah, but also like I don't refer to any group of people in like some sort of racially disparaging term. Like I don't call Asian people whatever Asian. I know what the words. I'm not going to repeat them. Like I don't call Jewish people by their epithet. I don't use those terms. And I think that usually other people don't either. And the people that say like they're not racist, but then they'll use the N word and you see like, oh well, other people say it, that are black and blah blah. It's like it doesn't matter. Like if it makes somebody black uncomfortable, like why the fuck would you say it? And like you wouldn't use the other words for these other ethnic groups. You never even say those words at all, But why do you want to test the waters by saying the N word? Like I really don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Prodigy, he wants to basically full on label Joe Rogan a racist. He's like, dude, if he loves saying it that much, he must be a racist. He doesn't stop himself or whatever. Even when quoting, I mean, I guess he wants to fully quote whoever said, the N-word by saying the N-word himself. But I think the clip from The Good Fight, which is a TV show, which has a lot of people on it, but there's a scene where Delroy Lindo, he's being talked to by two white co-hosts, and they're all talking about, all these rappers, they say it, and, why aren't they being canceled, and how come they get a chance to say it, but I can't say it, and so Delroy Lindo's character is like, so say it. Like, what? He's all, say the word you want to say. And they're like, I can't say that. He's all, yeah, you do. You can say it. This is America. Like, you can say the word. He's all, you know what? I'll say it with you. He's all, you so desperately want to say this word and not have repercussions. I will help you soften that, by saying it with you. I was like, holy shit. And like the guys panic like on the show, but it's like a 30-second clip, but I think it shows like all these people that do want to say this word, and usually in a negative way, not like they're rapping to hip hop lyrics. They just want to be able to point and call someone the N-word, but they don't want to have like they don't want to suffer the consequences. It's like they really want to be racist and not get called out.
Like I want to say, majority of media out there, whenever they're covering something and like the N-word is used, they usually don't quote that person with the N-word. They actually will say the N-word. They won't say the actual word out loud. But like the fact that Joe Rogan said it numerous of times, even if he's quoting somebody, it's like you're too comfortable using that word. I mean, I know you have a podcast and you're not really regulated, but like you kind of gotta self-regulate yourself when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, they don't want to. They want to be comfortable saying the word around other people that are like them, and then not suffer consequences. I think the perfect example, we talked about the judge from what was it, Oklahoma or something. The judge is talking about these African American males, but she's saying the N-word, and she's a person that passes judgment on African American people using the N-word. Granted, she's in her own home. I have no idea how the video leaked, but she's with her family, and they're all saying it. And this woman, I mean, she was she chose to resign because people were trying to force her out, but she was in a comfortable spot, and she figured that there'd be no consequences by saying it, being around people she feels comfortable with.
And I don't get that. Like I can never get drunk and just want to yell out like some racial epithet at all. Like nothing like that. Like I might say some wild shit, but it's never something like that. It's never like some crazy racist shit. I might clown you for the way you look, maybe. But yeah, I don't understand like that. I think when people get drunk, it's usually like it just reveals part of like their real personality. And
what do they call it? Liquid truth?
Yeah, liquid courage and whatnot. So
yeah, too.
Yeah, the fact that we still have to explain why people shouldn't use the N-word in 2022 is It's a problem. Like people just seem to forget that, our generation, our parents were getting, killed in the streets by the police. Well, shit, they're still happening today. Getting called the N word. They got lynched, getting called the N word. They couldn't go to schools, getting called the N word. It's like all these things that I guess this generation now just kind of forgot about. But it's still happening today. You still see these racist ass cops that are doing these things that are getting highlighted now only because of the internet. But back then it was much worse. And
there's no witnesses.
Yeah, and people just they don't seem to put that connection there. Is that they use this word to disparage all of our people, and then also kill them and make sure that they couldn't make a decent living. And they seem to separate the word from that, like the actual meaning of the degrading term. They just think it's like, oh, it's just some word. But it's not just some word. It was a word that was used with a specific intent for hundreds of fucking years. And they wanted to detach from that. But guess what? You're not going to be able to detach from that. You're not.
What's sad, too, is that, like, even though, like, some of the younger generation just use it, like, kind of throwing it around, they still kind of know what it means. Because if they're in a fight with somebody, like, say if a white kid's fighting with a black kid, he's going to throw that word out. Like, it's... Even though he might say it sparingly every here and there, but like, yeah, he knows that word's going to trigger that kid, and that kid, for some reason, he knows that word is what's going to trigger him, and they end up like fighting or whatever. But there's been some videos I've seen out there where like a lot of black people will hold back, but I've seen some people who were like, you know what, you're gonna learn today.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Knocked out.
I mean, it's very telling when especially even young people to this day, like because I can put this story out there because even though this hasn't happened to me, but I can probably identify with it as well as you two probably can, is that if you're like a teenage black male and you're dating, like a white female, and then like the father or the mother comes out like to the school that you attend and either talks to the principal or talks to somebody and like, hey, you can't be dating my daughter, or what are you doing with her, stuff like that. Like that stuff still goes on kind of today. I mean, yeah, it's probably more accepted, but there are still people who are like, they claim not to be racist, but then when their, son or daughter is dating someone that's African American, all of a sudden, all that goes away. They come running, they start saying stuff. You're like, where's this coming from? And it just turns all bad. It's like you think that we've progressed, but it's like it's been more repressed instead of progression. So yeah. I think in the wake of the internet, like people aren't paying attention, especially when you're drunk, that you're being recorded, that somebody's watching, and then all of a sudden it gets posted somewhere, and then millions of people see it.
Like you think he would have took a page from that dude from Seinfeld, but they went on that rant on the
that was at a comedy show guy too. Yeah, that was all bad. Yeah,
and that guy, he deserved it. Like the shit he was saying, holy shit! I was like, but his action makes me hate the show Seinfeld even more. Like I can't, like if it's on, like I see him, I'm like I can't watch the show. Like this is fuck the show just because he's on. I mean, I've probably seen like maybe 3 or 4 episodes of Seinfeld, and that's about it. But like, yeah, like that word, it's not as though they keep saying it's magical and this and that. Like the word has history, and just hearing the word trigger somebody. Like the shit's, it's almost like it's embedded into our DNA to hate that word just because it was used for hundreds of years to. Like Corona said, like downplay our people and like make us smaller and less valued than other people, and it's like it still goes on today, which is kind of sad.
It is, and I pointed out Prodigy and I had this discussion years ago, but historically, because the word is so damaging, they've actually added the N-word to other adjectives to put down other races, because they use like an N-word version for native people. There's one for Asians, even one for Hispanics, where the N-word is put in before another adjective to identify these other races.
They do in the when I went to Iraq, they use the sand N word. I'm just like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Sand N word, rice N word,
Yeah.
prairie N word.
It's just
they call border N word or dirty N word. I've heard them both used for Hispanic people.
Yeah, I don't know. It needs to. I don't like when anybody says it. Really, I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of rap songs that still use the word and stuff like that, but you know, I still would prefer them not to. That's just me personally, because I don't use the word. I think I've only used the word maybe a handful of times on this podcast, but it's literally specifically to talk about a book, because that's what the book is called, and it was by Dick Gregory, and I think it went into why he called it the book and why he felt comfortable using the term back then. But yeah, I don't like the word. It's just a fucked up word, man.
Yeah, I mean the book. I've read the book because the book is literally called N-word.
Yeah.
When I start, it's in lowercase, but the book is good. I mean, I wasn't aware that he was a comedian at the time. I just knew that he was in movies at the time that I was reading it. I was like watching some old stuff that he would pop up in, but he had it wasn't just like an autobiography, but it was like a kind of a scrapbook, because he had like poems and stuff in it. He has some of his stand-up notes that I guess he didn't use for some of them, but he has there's jokes in there, but they're all racially charged jokes that he had either he used before or he didn't put on stage, but then the rest goes into what was going on with his life. But the book is good overall. I think Alex Gregory is also I think he's the editor on that book too, as he does with Malcolm X. So
anyway,
but Joe Rogan is still on the air.
He's not,
and I know that
he's not going to stop being on the air. That's and I think obviously he's learned from this. I mean, he's going to take a serious hit from this, but
Spotify has.
Yeah, but he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. So he's going to keep making podcasts. And I'm not saying that to say oh, he needs to stop, because I don't think he needs to stop making podcasts. I think he needs to be more aware of his influence of his podcast, overall. I stopped listening to him because he kept having on people that were just fucking stupid. And he had some smart people, but this is the problem. He kept questioning the wrong people. So he would have on these people that would question, vaccines, even though literally 2 years ago, right when the pandemic started, he had, I forget the guy's name, but he had this dude on right when it started, because he was he basically predicted this pandemic that was going to happen. And Joe Rogan was talking about how, he didn't understand anti-vax people. It's if there's a vaccine out there, you should take it, save people. You could watch the video that's out there. There's clips of it today. And he goes from that, and within 2 years, he's anti-vax. And he wants to, there's a vaccine out for, COVID-19. He doesn't want to take it. He wants to take all these other things, which, whatever. But stop having all these people that are blatantly lying about COVID-19. And then when you have people on the show that, question him, or there's other things that he's done before, with Candace Owens, that's the one that comes to my mind the most. When Candace Owens was talking about she doesn't believe in climate change, he was like, what? Literally the fucking record stopped. And he was just what are you talking about? Can you explain yourself? And he just totally called her out, on her nonsense. And he's done it to multiple other guests too, where he would call them out on their blatant bullshit. But he has this thing now where if he has these certain dudes on that he thinks are smarter than him, he won't question their shit at all. Not even a fucking little bit. And it's no, question these people. That's why I like watching his podcast, because in a span of 3 hours, you have enough time to really break down what people's beliefs are and what they're actually talking about. But he wouldn't do it. He would just let these people roll over him. Who was the guy who had on recently? There's a guy I actually used to respect too, Jordan Peterson. He was on there, and he started talking about the Bible.
Who is that?
He's a philosopher. He's a PhD in philosophy in psychology. Sorry. I thought he was a really smart guy for the longest time, but I don't know what the fuck happened to him. But he was on his podcast and he was talking about the Bible, and he was talking about how the Bible was literally the first book. I'm like, hold on, it's not the first fucking book. Not even by any stretch of the goddamn means is it the first book. First of all, it's a collection of other books. So how the fuck could it be the first book? That's just basic premise. and he just let him just kind of wax, illogically on these sorts of things. It's like, why aren't you like questioning him on his logic on how he got to this? Like, he literally said, like, oh, I came to this conclusion last week, and then he just starts spouting off this nonsense as if it's fucking gospel. And it's like, if you came to the conclusion last week, did you talk to anybody else about it? Or did you just have an epiphany, came on a podcast, and then you just spat it out? And like, nobody's like giving this guy some sort of feedback. And I'm like, dude, this would be a perfect time for Joe to be like, hey, what do you mean it's the first book?
Yeah, like, especially since there's literally books that have been deleted from the Bible. The Book of Enoch being one of the most popular. There's actually 2 more that I can never remember the name. But the Book of Enoch is the most popular. That was in the Bible before and then got taken out because it's a collection of stories that to some people may seem a little weird because it talks about giants and I guess demons and some other other stuff that like doesn't seem to add up all the way, but it used to be in the Bible.
I mean, even if you talk about just religious text, the Bible is not even the first religious text or book or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Scroll. I don't give a fuck how you want to put it. Like, it's not the first of anything. It's the first Bible. But even then, the Bible is like, it's literally just a collection of other books. That's why it says the book of whatever. It's like, come on, man. Like, this isn't fucking rocket science.
Yeah. What the hell? I don't know. I mean, I don't really listen to all. I've never been a fan of Joe Rogan. I never thought his stand-up was funny.
I've been muted this whole time.
Oh wow! I never thought his stand-up was funny. I didn't like him on Fear Factor.
Yeah.
I felt like he was he's been on G4 a couple of times when they were doing UFC stuff, and he was super like.
He was on G4.
Yeah, G4 was covering a couple of UFC, and like what they did. So UFC did the stats. I'm sorry, the G4 guy, because Kevin Pereira and them, they did a prediction. Who do you think is going to win? And you know what Joe Rogan does? He's all, I respect these fighters too much to, say who's going to win. And like Kevin's like, okay, and he moves on. He moves on to the other co-hosts because there's like 4 of them. One of them is Joe Rogan. Each one says who they think will win in the fight, and every time they go through each fighter or each bout, they ask Joe, and he's like, oh, I have too much respect for them. It's like, dude, you can't say, based on these stats, you don't think who's going to win? Like, you can't even, like...
There's actually a reason for that. For him specifically, because he's a commentator. Because what happens is, if he says who he thinks is going to win, that fighter, when he starts commentating, he'll say that, oh, well, he's against me the whole time. And make him look bad. Like, literally, they've done this. It's happened to him a shitload of times. And it's like, dude, I'm literally just commentating the fight. Like, oh, well, you're commentating it to make it seem like, I'm not good at fighting, and it's just like, dude, I'm just saying what's happening in my opinion in the fight. So that's why he hasn't done that for like the longest time.
So kind of jumping back on the Joe Rogan, when he had a guest on his podcast, it was Dr. Michael
Osterhoff. Yeah,
Osterholm.
That's a great podcast.
And that's the one where he talks about like about being vaccinated, how it basically almost eradicated smallpox, and like everybody should get vaccinated, and polio is now a tiny thing because of vaccines, stuff like that. So, and that was an episode from March of 2020, and you can find a clip of it on Reddit right now. That's where I found it.
Yeah, there you go. That was back when he was like, when I used to listen to him. It was like, yeah, you had on interesting guests, and you would question them when they needed to be questioned.
There's one thing that somebody brought up about like how he can't be racist because he had that one black guy that was on there that was able to, he went over and talked to some of the KKK members and was able to get like
Daryl Davis,
like 200 Gerald Dix, to get them to like leave the Klan just because they have a better understanding of like how black people are real people basically, and like you bring that up, it's like I don't know about that. So a host can have a guest on there and be like, okay, like he could have a Klan member on there. Does that mean that he's like part of the Klan too? Like, it's
I was trying to think. Did he have a former Grand Wizard on his show at one point? I have no idea. I mean, he could have. He has a lot of podcasts.
I don't think so. I've listened for a long time, and I don't think so. He's got definitely a bunch of controversial figures on there, but I don't think he's had Yeah, I don't think he's like. I don't think he's like an overt racist, but I think like things that he said in the past are definitely like disparaging towards ethnic groups. But I don't think he's going out of his way to like put down or like end the careers or something like that of other ethnic groups, and I don't think he's going out of his way to cause harm to ethnic groups. I'll put it that way, but he definitely, could have used better words when it came to describing different ethnic groups. But at the same time, I'm not going to stand for the guy. So, like I said, I stopped listening. So
this is definitely not a good look. But this has become very politicized because his fan base, or a portion of his fan base, is saying this is a battle for free speech. I'm like, you were trying to battle for him to say the N-word freely and not have any kind of reprieve or repercussions? That's what you're basically saying. And they're like, well, I stand with Joe, because that was trending over the weekend. I stand with Joe Rogan. He should be able to say whatever he wants. Big tech can't take away your freedoms and all this other bullshit about free speech and stuff. I'm like, dude, this comes down to him using a racially disparaging word very freely, maybe in a context of where he was quoting someone, or maybe he didn't understand the power of his words. I don't know. I don't listen to the guy, but as an outsider looking in, this looks very, very bad and very racist from my point of view. Especially if you're not familiar with the guy. If you're watching these clips, you're like, oh, this guy likes using the N-word, so he must be racist. And that's what it appears. But then, like, people who are his fans, they're like, oh, because of this controversy and stuff like that, I'm going to listen to him a lot more now. I'm going to support him. It's like, well, are you supporting him because of what platform he stands for, or because he uses the N-word? And it's just super weird to me to see these people come out of the woodwork about free speech and his First Amendment rights, and just like, well, yeah, he can say whatever he wants, but I mean, he is under contract with Spotify. They paid him a lot of money, but it's ultimately up to them if they're gonna hold him, for whatever long, or if he does something else or something else comes up, if they drop him. Personally, like Chrono said, I don't think he's gonna be dropped. I mean, the CEO stands behind him. They say, well, we're going to leave him on the platform. They feel very sorry about the past stuff, but they're still going to keep him on. Some other platform offered Joe to bring all of his episodes over to their platform. They're going to restore the 70 that Spotify took down. And then he's battling, all these artists that are like, hey, if you're going to keep Joe Rogan, I'm going to take my music. I'm going to take my, library of music to Apple Music. I'm like, well, and it's still ongoing as we're talking. I mean, probably if you're listening to this in like 2030, you're like, oh, this is old news, but for us, it's new. We don't know what's going to happen in the next month or so. Who knows what the fuck? Maybe, some other bombshell will drop.
Well, this is what I don't understand when people talk about free speech. Like, free speech is not all free. Like, there's certain things that you can't. Free speech has limits, and that's why I think that most Americans that are just ignorant as fuck about the Constitution and just general laws, even police officers, they fuck up with what actual laws really fucking mean. So free speech does not protect you against things like obscenities, some obscenities anyway, which, I mean, the N-word is an obscenity. Fighting words, defamation, which you can also put the N-word in, child pornography, perjury, blackmail, inciting to imminent lawless action, true threats, or solicitations to commit crimes. So anytime someone wants to say free speech, not all fucking speech is free, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, also threatening the president. That's like kind of at the top, because that's almost treasonous. But like, I've been somewhere where some idiot was like threatening to kill the vice president Al Gore at the time, and literally for like, I think it was like it had to have been a 5-mile radius. They shut down this whole area, and like nobody could come in. And I was on foot, and I was walking back, and there's just like police cars everywhere, black, like literally
treason,
like dark, like these SUVs, and like at the time they were Crown Vics, like fully blacked out, all the windows blacked out. Like, I was like, what the hell? There's a helicopter. It was freaking wild, all because one person said some bullshit. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's treason. That's another thing that's not covered. So yeah.
I kind of went back in because I know we've talked about the N-word a lot. Not a lot. There's a few episodes where we talk about the N-word. Yeah, one too many. But there's some. I was looking at because I know we have some episodes with the N word, like it has the N word, not NIGG, the word spelled out, but it says the N word. So we have 3 episodes that uses that frame. So the first one was episode 127. The N word is not in your destiny, which I can't remember what that was about. Like that'd probably be a good episode to go back and listen to. The next one was called. This one's funny. Wonder Woman doesn't use the N word, which I'm pretty sure she doesn't. And then the last one was Oculus is the N word. So
I forget what that one was.
I remember
about.
the episode. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
That episode just 39.
Just for fun fact, that was probably nominated for a Golden Egg thing. But I'm pretty sure Wonder Woman would probably either punch you really hard or possibly kill you for using the N-word. Just saying.
Yeah, if you think it's really free speech, just go to any ghetto and just yell the N-word. See how? Have fun.
Yeah, be like Bruce Willis and wear the sign.
Yeah.
Die Hard 2.
It's Die Hard 3. Die Hard the Vengeance.
Oh, was it 3? Oh, yeah.
Because that's when Samuel L. Jackson comes like, "What are you doing out here? You about to get shot?"
Yeah.
It was all bad.
I think that was good.
I mean, is it worth getting your ass whooped or death? Possibly. Is it worth that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it's like I said, when you're at home and surrounded by the people you know, saying it freely with no consequence, yeah, there are. But when they're outside their element, they want to say it, but they know they can't because there'll be consequences.
It's that fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Just know if you're around a black person and they say they've got time today, you might just want to fucking leave. Especially if you did something and they say, you know what, I got some time today. Just fucking leave.
Oh yeah, that's
leave.
when you run.
Yeah.
I can bet you this. I bet you Kaya Rittenhouse has said the N-word a couple times.
All right, well, that was...
All right, enough N-words.
That was deep.
We're already people are like, "Oh, you're a black podcast and you're against the N-word?" Yes. So stop it. That's enough.
With the ER or the A?
Neither.
Or against both versions?
No, both. Yeah. I'm not using either of them. Where are we going next, y'all?
Can we talk about some gaming stuff? I didn't watch this, but I guess it happened today, which was Nintendo Direct. Apparently that dropped today.
Mm-hmm.
Who saw this? Who saw some of this?
I watched some of it. I was kind of fast forwarding through it. But there was a lot of games that got announced today.
All right. What can you tell us from what you saw?
So the biggest one, I'll just start with that, is because I play Mario Kart 8 with my daughter, my 5-year-old, all the time, and they're adding in 48 new fucking tracks tomorrow. I'm like, why don't you just make a Mario Kart 9? But whatever. So they're gonna release 8 new tracks dropped on like 8 different times, so that equals 48, or that doesn't equal 48, but they said it's gonna equal 48. So it'll be 48 new tracks. And the first one drops, I think, next month.
I think March 18th.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting some new tracks because, I've played all of them, and I've gotten like really good except for 200cc is too fucking fast. I don't like using brakes in Mario Kart.
Yeah, but 200cc is awesome. You can power slide and everything. It's awesome.
You can power slide in the other ones, but I can't. You have to power slide super early in 200cc. Yeah. So I'm just like, man, that's a little too early for me.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I wanted to bring back some like classic levels from like the original Mario Kart.
Yeah, they're bringing back a lot of the classic ones, just remastered into 3D, real 3D, not 2D 3D.
Yeah,
like the first Mario Kart is basically 2D, but they made it look 3D. Other games that got announced was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which was a sequel to 2017's open world RPG. Splatoon 4 is coming out this summer. It's called the Salmon Run Next Wave.
Me Bukaki.
Another sequel to a great game, which I'm surprised they came out with it, but thank goodness they are, because I'm looking forward to it, is Nintendo Switch Sports. Remember Wii Sports? This is the sequel to Wii Sports for the Switch. So I'm like, good, because like Wii Sports, that game sold a fucking console, to be honest with you.
It did.
Sold the console. It was so much fun. So now they're adding in like all the old games, all the old like mini games, along with some new ones like badminton and volleyball and there's like this weird like sword game and a couple other ones too. So, Mario Strikers Battle League drops on June 10th. I played the first one a lot. I think it was on the Switch. Maybe it was the GameCube. I used to play a lot.
Is it a baseball game?
No, the soccer game.
Soccer game.
It is the first one that I can remember was on GameCube, but there could be one on 64, but I'm not 100%.
It was on the Wii. I'm just looking it up. Mario Strikers Charge.
Oh yeah, but there's one before that. It's on the Cube.
Oh, was there? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I almost bought it. I think it's the first one. It's actually pretty awesome because I played it a few times. But you can fuck people up in that game. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's a fun like soccer game, but it has like you get super powered like power up moves and stuff. So it's a lot of fun, and it's Mario style. So I liked it. Let's see. No Man's Sky is coming to the Switch, which is a huge surprise.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Surprising. So the game, my question is, the game currently is cross-platform. Will this include the Nintendo players or the Switch players now into the cross-platform pool of players?
I don't know. Probably not because the Switch is so fucking weird. But I could be if we can get a PlayStation to work with PC games, then why not? So they'll figure it out. But also, you don't really need to have this cross-platform.
You don't. That's true. You don't. But it's definitely a lot more fun playing No Man's Sky with multiple people, especially when they do. Because currently they're doing expeditions, and they're like I guess they're roughly between 1 week to 2 weeks to complete. But if you're playing with other people, because I played with people that follow the podcast, I play with some friends. We like squad up, and then we complete the task together. Because you can help other people complete the task. It's pretty awesome. You can chat on there and be like, you can either type or use your voice and be like, hey, what do you need help with? Because they actually have like a common area, like a hub. It's literally called a hub. You can go to the hub and go there, and you can kind of tell what stage people are on based on their ship sometimes, and be like, hey, if you need this, I got this, and just give people random stuff to help them along. It's actually pretty funny, but it's fun.
Yeah, I was trying to see if No Man's Sky was going to be cross-platform for the Switch, but they just mainly talk about how it's cross-platforms on the other consoles and PC. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I gotta dust that game off. I haven't played it since it came out.
Yeah, I mean, No Man's Sky is it's the best example of yes, you can fuck a game up from launch, but you can also fix it. So,
Cyberpunk 2021.
Yeah, exactly. Cyberpunk, because it's still fucking broken. So, but supposedly they're gonna drop a PS5 and Xbox Series X version of not No Man's Sky, of Cyberpunk 2077 sometime this year. So hopefully that'll fix it. I don't have high hopes. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Okay, that's a weird name, but anyway, that drops in June. It's an RPG. Nobody cares about that game. There's a new Kirby game called Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which also is my favorite character in Super Smash Brothers. Is Kirby?
Hell yeah, Kirby's awesome.
Fuck you up.
Yeah,
yeah, Kirby's awesome. People kept complaining, Kirby's cheap. I'm like, no, he's not. You just don't know how to use your character.
Just get good. It's okay.
The fact that he can steal other people's powers too.
Yeah.
So it's like fucking Ditto. I wonder, was Ditto in the game? I think he was. Ditto from Pokemon.
Oh, I never played Pokemon. Never got into it.
Oh, there's Jigglypuff. You can meet Jigglypuff in Smash.
Oh, that's right. Jigglypuff is in Smash Brothers.
Let's see. Portal and Portal 2 are getting ported to the Switch, which is great because I think Portal 2 was one of the greatest co-op games of all time. Like, seriously. It's great to... go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I love that fucking game. The game was so much fun. And plus, having the AI... Fun fact, the voice of... I think it's Agnes? Not Agnes. Something that's One Division. But the voice of the robot in Portal is also the same voice for Siri.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The same lady does the voice of Siri and that robot. So you can if you listen side by side, you can tell that it's Siri. And also in Lego Batman, Siri is the voice of the Batcomputer.
Nice.
The more you know.
Wait, which Lego Batman?
The
Was it Beyond Gotham? I actually have that game.
No, the movie Lego Batman
the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
My math was wrong. Sorry. The 48 new tracks for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's 8 tracks on 6 releases. So the first one drops on March 18th.
Oh, pretty soon.
And you're getting tracks from Super Mario Kart, Super Circuit, Mario Kart 64, Double Dash, Mario Kart DS, Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart 7, and Mario Kart Tour. So you're getting a lot of new tracks. Metroid Dread is getting a free update, which is going to make it easier and harder.
So wait, the new tracks from Mario Kart, do you have to pay for them?
Yes, to pay for DLC. I mean, it's 48 new tracks, man. So
yeah, just saying. I mean, maybe you never know. They could be like, "Here you guys go, new tracks for free." So
honestly, with 48 new tracks, that's to me, it's a new game. So I don't even know why.
That's a whole lot of tracks. So
yeah, because I don't think the game even has. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, it probably does. It probably has 48 tracks already in it. Yeah, so Metroid Prime, they have, or Metroid Dread. The free DLC makes it so if you get hit once, you die, and another one that makes it easier. So it just makes it easier. And then there's a more DLC coming that makes it. I forget what they called it. Oh, it's like a boss rush mode. So, but that one's coming later. So yeah, that was the most of the shit for Nintendo Direct. But I was surprised. I mean, there's a lot of stuff announced like randomly in February. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even hear about this like happening. It just happened in news floods. The news started to flood on Twitter and all other social media. But yeah, it's kind of cool.
Oh, I thought I heard the music in the background for a split second.
No, I got to figure that out still because we're still going through the PodTrack 4, and I need to figure out a way to add the music in through another input onto this tiny ass thing. So
yeah. this tiny magical thing.
Yeah, I can't.
That's good for Nintendo, by the way.
Yeah, somebody was asking when does Tiny Tina's Wonderland come out? I think it comes out next month.
Or was it this month?
No, it's next month. Yeah, it's March 25th. So Mike was asking, and yeah, I want to play that. So yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
I guess what was highly anticipated but didn't come was there was no Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yeah.
But did they announce like DLC for Breath of the Wild or
no
or anything? No.
Nope.
Okay. Huh.
Breath of the Wild came out already, right?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been out for a while. Yeah, okay. But everyone's waiting for Breath of the Wild 2, and they're hoping it get announced or like maybe like a more 3D Metroid, and no, none of that. So
I mean, it's slated to release this year, so I'm surprised they didn't bring it up. But right now it just says 2022, so
yeah,
game can be pushed back easily.
I mean, it could get pushed back, or they could be waiting for the holiday rush. So you never know.
Gotta get that money.
Yeah.
All right. That's good for Nintendo. That's some good stuff. I know a lot of people that are excited. We didn't talk about this. This was announced, I think, last week. We didn't talk about it, though. So Respawn is doing 3 Star Wars games. They're super vague about it. They just said that they're working on 3 of them. What was also weird to me is that they said they're doing a new Star Wars Jedi game, but they didn't say Fallen Order. So I'm just like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that they're going to follow a different Jedi in a different order? They said they're well in the way of working on it. I guess we'll get a announcement on the title later on this year. I guess they're also working on a first-person shooter Star Wars game, and I think there's one other game that they're working on. They didn't give any release dates. They didn't give any names, but they said they're all like 3 simultaneous Star Wars games from one studio. Granted, I really like Respawn. They're like probably everyone, including the industry's favorite new studio. But I feel like that's kind of a lot of Star Wars projects from one studio. So I'm hoping they have the staffing right and they've planned it out right, or they're going to outsource it to some other EA subsidiaries to come in and help them out. But we'll see. But I am excited to see 3 new Star Wars game. I know we talked about Star Wars Eclipse, which is going to be I think later on this year, because there was a huge trailer for that one. It had like a 2-minute trailer, which you can still watch. But it's not. It's like the what's that stuff? What's this over? Oh, Detroit. It's like Detroit. So you'll get to control your character, but it's more like with the contacts button stuff. It's like quick timey events. I mean, that's the way they make their games. Don't get me wrong. Detroit was a good game. It's very thought provoking, and it's weird because it deals with like an android uprising, and you can choose for it to be a peaceful uprising or a violent one. So I was like, oh, I can actually just go out and start murdering humans, and yeah, you can based off of like one decision. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. It's definitely going to be a game that people will probably play over and over again. Also, the one that I got for free, Until Dawn, is kind of like that as well. I mean, you barely control your characters, mostly like decision-based stuff. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you do control. Don't get me wrong, you do control because you have to avoid some hazards, but you have to decide are you going to go left and right, and like they have huge consequences. Like it changes the outcome of the end of the game, because the game will have multiple. Most of the games by the studio, they always have multiple endings based on your decisions.
They also make Rain, right? Isn't that one of their games?
Yeah, I believe. Well, I believe
Heavy Rain.
They were together. Yeah, Heavy Rain.
Is that Quantic Dreams? So the name of the studio?
Quantic. No. Is it Quantic? Yeah, I think it is Quantic Dream. Yes, should be the name of the studio. But the trailer is super cool. With some weird, it looks like they raised some kind of person out of like this black goo. It's awesome. Everyone's like, "Oh, is that a Sith Lord?" No idea. Got to play the game to find out. So should be interesting. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a huge announcement today from Lucasfilm. The release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series has a release date. It's May 25th. They released a poster
of this year.
May 25th of this year. It signifies an anniversary for Star Wars. So
but Disney Plus has had like if you log into Disney Plus, they've had like the icon, the thumbnail for it sitting there for like the longest time saying coming soon, but there was never a date attached to it. So hopefully,
there's never been a date. People thought it was going to get pushed again, and there's been nothing because there's no trailer. But we get a release date because that May 25th isn't that far away. So, and then we know that Star Wars Andor is supposed to be coming too, but they haven't released their release date for that one. That may come later. Apparently, we may get Mandalorian 3 towards the end of the year. So a lot of Star Wars stuff that's been coming out. Should be interesting to see. I'm excited to see Obi-Wan. I know it's only going to be 6 episodes, but there's going to be some pretty cool shit that I'm hoping to see. Hopefully, we'll get a trailer really soon.
I don't know. Whoever's doing the scheduling for Disney Plus, they're fucking geniuses. Like, seriously. Like, they just keep, like, remember when Disney Plus first came out, people were just like, oh, I'm just going to get it for a month and just watch a show and then cancel it. They saw you coming. So now, what do you see every month now? A new something every month, something you want to watch. So, they especially for a Star Wars fan, Jesus. I mean, it's pretty much a new show every fucking month. You know,
almost.
Or maybe every 2 months, but still, that's like pretty good track record. None of them have been like really bad, so most of them have been great.
Yeah. So we know someone very personally that had the exact same sentiment you just talked about, and that'd be Prodigy on the show. He felt like Disney finessed him. I'm like, dude, you kept calling him out. Like, dude, if you don't like it, discontinue it. See what happens. See what your kids say. He never did. And he's super excited about the Book of Boba Fett. I've been talking to him a little bit. He is not even caught up. So I don't know if he's seen any of the crazy-ass memes about the last 3 episodes, but he's missed a lot of stuff, a lot of content. I know he's going to be excited this weekend because he said he's going to watch it over the weekend because this is supposed to be Valentine's Day weekend. So I think he'll have, like, a little bit of downtime away from the kids. to get to watch it. So
not even with like the Star Wars stuff, like Disney Plus is definitely killing on the Marvel side of the house too, with like their shows. I mean, they had there's about 4 shows they released so far because we had WandaVision, Hawk, and let's say Bubba Gump and what's that? We had the Winter Soldier and Falcon. We had the What If stories. We had Hawkeye, which
we had
released recently.
We had Loki.
We had Loki, which was really good. That's 5. Yeah, that's 5 shows they dropped, which were all really good.
They've been alternating, so it's been like 1 month is a Star Wars show, and then like a couple months later is a Marvel show. So for instance, Book of Boba Fett, their season finale is today, and then next month we get Moon Knight. By the time Moon Knight ends, we'll have fucking Kenobi.
Yeah, listen to the schedule, okay? So there's actually a movie on here that people should probably watch. So Free Guy comes to Disney Plus on February 23rd. It's a great movie.
Really?
Yeah, Free Guy is really
Fox,
good.
I think.
So good.
So anyway, this is like their release schedule. So Moon Knight comes out. So Free Guy comes out on February 23rd. Moon Knight comes out on March 30th. You have Obi-Wan coming May 25th. There's a new Chippendales coming in spring this year. I didn't know that. A new Baymax show that's coming out. Miss Marvel drops summer. Andor is late summer. There's a new Enchanted 2 called Disenchanted. Comes out. Hocus Pocus 2 comes out later on this year. Another Aladdin later on this year.
Oh, that's right. I've been hearing about that.
I mean, Cars on the Road. There's a new Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's mainly a kid thing. A new Peter Pan live action that's coming out. She-Hulk comes out later this year too. Willow, Zootopia Plus. I mean, dude, there's like what? And these are ones that are still to be determined. There's going to be a new Bug's Life, Agatha, House of Harkness, Ahsoka Tano, Armor Wars.
Yep, remember that one.
Earthkeepers, which I don't know what that's about. I Am Groot, Ironheart. I mean, they get Marvel Zombies. I mean, Jesus Christ, they're killing it.
Even apparently, Secret Invasion is supposed to be sometime this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man freshman year. There's a new Sister Act, which is okay. Yeah, Secret Invasion that's on here as well. Yeah, they're coming after all the money, and then also X-Men 97. So forgot about and Wakanda. So yeah, go ahead and cancel your little Disney Plus. You don't want to see any of these shows, I guess.
Yeah, because whatever's released in theaters is going to be on Disney Plus within 2 months.
Yeah.
So, I got it. I got the bundle. My bundle was like $7 or $11. It was $11 for the bundle. So
I hope they continue doing the early access because still it's so worth it. Even if you're paying like $40-$50, like if you're watching it with 2 or 3 people, it's well worth it.
It's worth it
for paying at home because you basically own it, so you can pause it and watch it later, or you can watch it again and again. But if you go to movie theaters, you see it that one time, you have to go back and pay again to watch it. So. And
you could watch it with your toddler at 2 a.m. If you want.
That's true.
Yeah, it's very true. So I've been happy with Disney Plus. I mean, because there's some stuff that I forgot about that they made. Like when I was younger, I loved Flight of the Navigator. It's a great film.
Oh yeah.
Even though it'd be on there. I love Willow because Willow's on there. I know that they're working on a new Rocketeer. I don't know if I know they're doing the comic because I think the comic's out. But they're also talking about doing like a Rocketeer TV series, which I'm on board for because I love the Rocketeer. Even though I wasn't familiar with it when it first came out, didn't know it was a comic, but they're trying to re-release the comic, and that's like a huge thing. What else is there? The High Republic stuff. There's going to be a High Republic TV show. It's in the works now. I've been reading the books, so I'm excited, even more excited for the show because the books have been fairly good. I mean, actually, probably the first book is probably my favorite so far, but the other books have been pretty on par. And there's a new book that was supposed to be out. I think it got delayed until March 4th, but I'll be reading that too. So should be very interesting. All the content that's coming out. Sometimes Disney sneaks out content on there too. Shit that nobody knew about, and all of a sudden, boom, it's on there. So.
Yeah. Can we talk about comics for a minute?
Yeah.
Sure.
Two things. First of all, Saga came back. I think I talked about it before.
Yep.
Go get them, all of them. Read them. Also, I want to talk about the I Am Batman series because I read some internet backlash about Batman being black now, and they went to DC's going woke, blah 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 blah. It's like
after months,
not even
they just
months.
caught up now.
Fucking years. This has been like the lead up for this character has been years in the making. And when I say years, it literally started with like the City of Bane. This is like fucking 4, maybe 5 years ago. Like it was a while ago. It started with that, and then it went into Joker Wars, which more solidified, leading up to another Batman being Batman. So at the end of Joker Wars, spoiler alert, but also years ago, anyway, Bruce Wayne gets his money stolen by the Joker. So he steals all his shit, and when eventually Bruce Wayne gets it back, he decides to give all of his fortune to Lucius Fox. Lucius got tortured by Joker, and I think that's how Joker actually stole his money, stole Bruce Wayne's money, is by torturing Lucius Fox, and I'm pretty sure that's how he got it.
Damn, how many damn kids does Lucius Fox have?
He's got
I feel like he didn't. Yeah, I feel like he's been pumping out all kinds of kids.
Yeah.
Damn.
So basically, Lucius is now very affluent. He's got all the monies. He's got a bunch of kids, and one of his kids, Jace, becomes a Batman. He figures out like all Batman's stuff. He gets like all his like Batman gear. He makes his own gear as well. Lives by the same basic Batman code, and now he is going to go be Batman in New York. And so people were just mad because they were saying, "Oh, DC's going woke. You can't have a black Batman. Why don't they just make a new character?" But this is a new character. He's fleshed out. The interactions between Jace and his family it's a whole like interesting dynamic because his family doesn't agree with everything he's doing. They also don't know that he's Batman for like the longest time. And Lucius is going, he has a thing about like after he got tortured by the Joker, like him trying to make the world a safer place. And he kind of goes into a dark place with that. So, and it's also written by John Ridley, the same guy that wrote 12 Years a Slave. So if somebody wants to be out there like, oh, I want to support, black artists and, black comics, blah, blah. This is a black writer that's writing a Batman that happens to be black. So shut the fuck up. Also, there's a bunch of other Batman, but guess what? They just happen to not be black, but nobody complained about these other Batman, like at all. There's a whole bunch of Robins. There's like 12 fucking Robins, probably more than that.
Yes,
but nobody seems to care that there's all these other Robins. Nobody seems to care, but let's just say it, they're all white. If you make them any other ethnic group, people get mad about it. Just be honest with yourself. The only reason that you're mad about it is because they're not white for whatever reason. But this is not some like throwaway character. Because I'll be honest with you guys. You know that I don't like when they do these stupid ass ethnic and gender swaps. I can't fucking stand it. But this is not an ethnic swap character. It's a character with an actual background that is worth reading, and it's by a guy who has a pretty good track record with writing, and he's black, and he also did some stuff for
the Black Panther.
Yeah, he did Black Panther as well for the comics. So he's doing like a bunch of writing stuff for comics. So if you want to support, a black artist, support him too. Don't leave him out just because he happens to be writing for Batman or for whatever other comic. Like support them. If you don't, you're gonna have less people like this that are willing to actually flesh out an entire character, unlike some of these other writers that are terrible writers that people buy all the time that do like these swaps. But this is not a swapped character. So please read it. I think it's a fantastic story so far. I'm looking forward to see what Jace does in New York. So,
well, because Lucius Fox also has another son, Luke Fox, who plays the bat symbol.
And people get confused.
He plays Batwing.
Batwing, yeah. I'm thinking of the symbol. That's the black kid from Robin Wars. He kind of takes on the mantle of, I don't know. He's not a Robin. He's not a Batman. He's just like the symbol, which
he's like yellow Batman.
Yeah.
He's like,
he has a bat symbol. He wears his fucking cape and cowl, and he's got like a jetpack or some shit.
Yeah, but Lucius Fox's son Luke Fox is Batwing, and he's been Batwing for a couple of years now too.
Yeah, but he's not Batman.
Yeah, he's not Batman. But yeah, it looks like this was announced back in 2020. So the fact that people are mad now, it just shows that they don't really read comics.
Well, yeah, I called someone out on it too. It's like another black dude who was just like, "Oh, they're just doing this and that." I'm like, "Did you even?" I didn't even ask him if he didn't read because I know he didn't read the comics. So I gave him like the whole background, and he was just like, "Oh, well, yeah, just read it. I mean, just read. If you don't read the comic, then it's fine." And then he was trying to say like, "Well, mainstream people are not going to know this." I'm like, "Yeah, I know that. This is why I'm posting this. Because if you don't know, it's fine, but." Don't assume that it's just some swap. You're assuming the worst in something when it's clearly not. But the only way you're going to know is if you don't talk about how, you want to have more diverse characters in comics. And then when they do that, then you get mad about it because it wasn't exactly the way that you wanted them to do it. If you want something the exact way you want to do it, then be a fucking comic book creator. Do that. Mm-hmm. Create your own fucking comics.
Or support, the independent comics. There's a lot of writers out there that aren't big because they just don't have a name. Because the one thing that's kind of weird to me now is that even though they're kind of well named, they're still writing comics, but they're writing movies and TV shows. For instance, David S. Goyer, what's the other one? Even Josh Whedon, J.J. Abrams, Richard Donner. All of them have written comics in some way, shape, or form. Kevin Smith, another huge one. A lot of them have written for both Marvel and DC. It'd be interesting to see, people support, writers and artists that are with Vertigo, Image. What's the one that Man of War? I can't think of. Man of War is published by who?
Yeah, I have it around here somewhere.
Because they're an up and coming publishing group too, but it's nobody's talking about them. It's just
it's not up and well, I mean they've been around for a while. It's Valiant, so yeah.
Yeah, but it's not nobody really talks about Valiant. They always talk. It's always Marvel or DC,
or Image. Yeah,
sometimes Image. Sometimes, yeah, exactly. You sprinkle Image every now and then, and the only one they really talk about from Image is Spawn. Maybe a couple other ones.
Saga's Image. So yeah.
Saga's Image.
Yeah.
Is East and West's Image?
Yes, that is.
Yeah. So people talk about those two, but they want them to be TV series or movies. The writers are I don't think so. I don't think this will translate well. But
I mean,
it's just funny to me.
If space ninja monks with laser swords can be a thing, then why can't they sound ridiculous when you just strip everything away, but if you do it right, it's gonna be awesome. So
that aspect you have to talk to the writer of the creator of Saga, because he doesn't think that movies or TVs is well equipped to produce his show yet. He says in the next 5 or 10 years they'll be ready for some reason. Yeah. You can read his interview.
I have. Brian K. Bond has said that, and it doesn't help that that Why the Last Man got canceled. So that's he wrote that
another one,
which I actually liked it, and they made changes from in the show, but I didn't think they were that bad. But yeah,
I also gotta I kind of look at it with anime where the anime gets past the manga, and I think that might be the case with him. Maybe he doesn't have a solid amount of content for it to translate into a show because
apparently his fan base disagrees.
Well,
they all want a TV show.
Well, we do, but at the same time, Blue's right. So I know that Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, she's the artist, which she does fantastic work. She's one of my favorite artists. She's right up there with Trad Moore. As far as comic book artist goes, they have a specific ending I think they want to get to, and given that they just had a 4 or 5 year hiatus for Saga, not having an ending to the comic, and then starting the show, what if they go on a hiatus again, and then the show catches up? Then you would have a serious issue. Then you would hit the manga / anime problem.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there's a show coming to Netflix, which has been another comic-based show, which everyone's been waiting for. They dropped character pictures for. I don't know the release date, but it's supposed to be this year, which will be Sandman.
Oh,
I know a lot of people are all about Sandman. The audiobooks apparently are amazing.
Fantastic.
But the TV show is going to be on Netflix this year. I think it's this summer sometime, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I remember. I remember they were talking about that a while ago. That Sandman, the DC graphic novel, right? Yeah, graphic novel was coming to Netflix. But
Yeah, because
yeah, I
they
never don't
show.
remember if the release date or not.
Yeah, they show. So Gwendolyn Christie, apparently she plays Lucifer on the show. She plays like you can see what she looks like. They have a character poster of her. She looks kind of like angelic, but it's like her eyes are kind of yellow or what. They look kind of yellowish, but it looks kind of creepy. They show other characters as well. Um, should be interesting. I've only seen bits and pieces of Sandman like in the comic. And I wasn't really that interested, but the show I'm interested in.
Oh, it's on
We'll see.
Netflix. Did you say
Yeah,
that?
so I was
Netflix?
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did say. They didn't say. I didn't see a release date. That's the only thing. But I just saw that it's supposed to be sometime this year, but it didn't say when. So I wouldn't be surprised if they drop it in May too. You know, May is supposed to be that big summertime,
All I
audience
know is
type
that
stuff.
that fucking cafe scene, like that scene might be up there with like the Red Wedding.
Uh,
Holy shit! Like,
yeah.
oh, God.
I mean, the book was.
It wasn't Dream. It
really
was
good.
that one psychopath guy who had dream power who just fucking shit up. But speaking of Netflix shows, there's a show on Netflix. I thought about this on my Facebook page, but this show doesn't make any kind of goddamn sense. But I can't stop watching. Actually, I finished it. It's only 8 episodes long. It's called the title even fucking. It's funny too. It's called The Woman in the House, or The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Little Girl in the Window, or something like that. And it has Kristen Bell in it. Or not Kristen Bell. Yeah, Kristen Bell is in
Yeah,
it,
it's
and
Kristen Bell.
she plays the mom who. So, if this might be a huge spoiler, but it's still, you were like, what the fuck, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. She's a mom who's afraid of the rain because her daughter died on a rainy day, and like she has like a crippling fear whenever it rains, and like it's just so fucking silly how like
Can
I
I can tell you the whole name of the series. It's called The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window.
Yeah,
the original title was just called The Woman in the House. You could have just left it at that.
Nah, and it's so funny because like the opening title for the show, like it just shows like each little letter like one at a time, and it's like it's like hella long, but like
it's like the whole
it's about
the whole first episode is
like,
just that.
Yeah, basically just the intro. But like the way the daughter dies is fucked up. But like it's there's some shit that happens that's like what like she's an alcoholic. She's taking like medication to kind of help her with like her kind of depression, and like you can't mix like alcohol and these medications together because it'll make you hallucinate. But then like there's a murder that happened and she sees it and like nobody believes her, and it's fucking crazy, man. There's a puppet, like a ventriloquist dummy. There's like there's a pregnant lady. There's so much like random shit that's just thrown in here, but it all just kind of works out at the end, and like it's so fucking stupid, silly fun that it's like it's totally worth it. And like it's 8 episodes and it's only like about 30 minutes long, but like the sweetness is the one that got me into the show. She's all, Blue, come here, come watch this scene. Come watch this scene. Like it's the scene where how the daughter dies. I'm like, who fucking does that? Like what the fuck? Like who it's just the first episode. I don't know, I think it's the second episode they go into it. And you're like, who fucking does that? Like, why would you do that for it's fucking crazy, but it's definitely worth watching. I think right now it's like in Netflix top 10. I think it's like number 4
in
or
their
something
top
now.
10.
But it was one for about a week or so. But like, yeah, and there's definitely gonna be a sequel to this. Like, definitely watch it to the end. There's definitely gonna be a fucking sequel, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, it was weird because like Netflix was promoting the show, but it wasn't showing a trailer. They were showing behind the scenes because they showed how they filmed during COVID. So like the director is like nowhere near her, but he's giving her direction from like Zoom or some shit. It was super weird. So she had to perform instead of like, because the director is like, he's like not even there or whatever, but he's like directing her through like a chair, like what we're doing now. At least what they show. I mean, I guess there's some times where he does show up, but it's super weird. So they talk about the challenges about filming it during COVID.
There's this one thing where Kristen Bell character, she's trying to find more information about a guy, so she basically creates a thirst trap Instagram account, and she just called it like super sexy Anna. It's like super basic name, but we do get to see her in lingerie, which is kind of hot.
I mean,
not gonna lie,
she's an attractive woman, I'll say.
She definitely is. She's an American sweetheart. But overall, yeah, definitely check out the show. It's worth watching. It's an easy power through. It's an easy binge.
Cool. Yeah, I still recommend. It was number one for like a couple of weeks, but now it's like 9 or 10, which was Arcade 81, which I talked about a couple weeks ago. I'm not gonna go back into it, but I highly recommend it. It's still in the top 10 for a reason, because it's that good. So yeah.
And I think it's based off of a book, I believe. I'm trying to see. Oh, well, there was a film in 2021.
Oh, it might be a remake. Is it a like foreign version or like a non-American version?
On here it says not to be confused with, so it's not even related to it.
Oh, well, never mind then. Still, I did want to check it out, but I didn't know anyone that watched it. Now that you watched it, your recommendations have been pretty fire so far. So
yeah, man.
I didn't realize the episodes are only 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're pretty short. They're like 30, 35 minutes, like nothing. They're not that long.
Yeah, it's weird because watching the little behind the scenes or whatever they were doing, it felt like it was a movie, or they kind of presented it as if it was a movie. So I was like, oh, is this some weird ass movie? But it's a series. Quick binge, sure. I can add it to the list, but I'm already behind on a bunch of stuff. So
Dude, there's like strippers involved in the show.
Yeah, but when are strippers not involved? You know?
Well, in this show, it's a little bit different. But
oh, well, Cronus kind of stepped away for those of you who are not watching live or watching the video, but we're going to have to wait to talk about. Did you catch up on Attack on Titan? Because I did.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't watch. Yeah, I watched this weekend's episode too.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll wait. I watched two episodes of one. So I was like, I waited, 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh, I can watch both of these, so I get an hour's worth of Attack on Titan. But we'll wait for him to come back. Yeah, I was super kind of.
I wonder if he's caught up on Boba Fett. I'm missing today's episode.
I doubt it. Oh, I saw last episode. Week. You saw last week? So we didn't talk about the last 2 weeks because I don't know if he's caught up or not, but I saw today's earlier this morning. It definitely finishes out the first season and kind of sets up some other stuff. But it was definitely entertaining for me. There might be some upset people, but welcome.
Oh man! But I know last week had me dehydrated, man. About as much as I was busting. Especially especially since we got Ahsoka back. God,
man, there's all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. It was I was like tripping out. It's like there were so many things in last week's episode that like you're wiping up drool and like wiping up whatever fluids you expunged because it gave you everything all in one episode. And it was like a 45-minute episode. I was just like, what the hell?
This season has been very throwbackish, like, you know, especially like with the Mandalorian. Like when he got his new ship. I can't think of the name of the ship.
He got an N1 Naboo starfighter.
Yeah, Naboo starfighter. But like also like the scene where he's like piloting it for the first time. Like they're saying that's the same route that Anakin took when he was doing like the pod racer from episode 1. He
goes through Beggar's Canyon and then he goes through the Eye of the Needle. He does literally. You can see this. It's probably on Facebook a lot, but they do a side by side where Din is flying the starfighter and then Anakin's race through Beggar's Canyon, and they time it up to where he goes through. You can see the part where Anakin broke the little barrier where the road was not complete. You see it didn't drive by at the same time as they sync it up. It's actually pretty cool. And then he flies through the Eye of the Needle and whatnot. It's actually pretty good. And then at the very end, you see a Womp Rat where Luke was talking about he was, blasting Womp Wats in his T-16. It was pretty great.
Well, like homegirl that was working on the Starfighter, she was attacked by Womp Rat, right? Didn't it like grab her and was like
tried to
take her away?
try to chew on her, and he saves her. He like blasts it. He's all tap, double tap, pop, pop. It's pretty awesome.
I like how resourceful those the what's them guys are.
The Jawas?
Yeah, the Jawas. Like, if you want it, they can find it and they'll get it for you. No question asked.
It's hella funny because he's all, we're in the desert. How the hell they find that stuff? She's like, do you really want the answer to that question? All you need to know is they get you what you want.
Well, then like she did ask them, like she spoke the language or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, they stole it off of this one that was parked like outside of the driveway. Like, these guys are like
super thieving.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that they left that thing on fucking like on cinder blocks, just missing parts out there, instead of like catalytic converters and shit.
It's so funny because they're so small, but they strip stuff down so quick and fast, and then they're out. They're out in this big ass sand crawler. I was like, damn, that's hella crazy.
Dude, one of my favorite things about Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, was the Millennium flying scene, like when they had it like flying through the canyons and through the the blown up Death Star and stuff like that. Like, that shit was fucking dope to me. Like, that was my favorite thing about that.
That was definitely a highlight because that was a good fucking scene. I was like, oh, I mean, it is a little reminiscent of like Return of the Jedi when they're in the Death Star, but it just gives you, it kind of puts you back there. It's like, oh, they're being chased through this intricate like, subsystem, but it's like it's like junk. It's like a crashed ship, but the inside still looks like a station or whatnot. Everything's all blown up. That's a good scene. I watched it the other day. I'm like, damn, this scene is pretty good.
I even just visually, because like we usually see the Millennium Falcon like in space, but for it to be like on a planet where there's like kind of gravity, I'm
sorry. Are you talking about today's episode?
No. We're talking about Star Wars Episode 7.
Oh,
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. But we've been touching on the Book of Boba Fett. Are you caught up, or have you seen?
I watched
last week's.
I watched last week's. No. Yeah.
Okay, so you saw. Actually, we didn't talk about the last 2 weeks, where like everyone kept complaining that the show got hijacked.
I mean, it's the Mando show, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, basically.
There's a lot of people complaining like, oh, this is supposed to be the big Book of Boba Fett, not the Book of Mandalorian. I'm like, well, to me, I felt like it was a crossover episode. Like, they're within the same universe. They met, on other shows. I don't see the issue with those other characters coming onto this show. And, like, even setting up the future of this show plus the other 2 shows that are going to be coming. That are coming up.
I mean, obviously, I did not really care that it was the Mando show for the past 2 episodes. But I think the main thing is that if you're, like, a true hardcore, like, Star Wars fan, a lot of people had like a lot of people liked Boba Fett, even though there was really no reason to really like Boba Fett if you really watch Star Wars, because he barely did anything in Star Wars. But he was a bounty hunter, and everybody thinks the bounty hunters are cool, and he definitely had some cool stuff on him. But he got his ass kicked by like some barely out of Padawan ship guy, so But I think it's what people were looking forward to is seeing like that character fleshed out more. So when you get, these back-to-back episodes of like really fleshing out the background of this character, what happened after the Sarlacc pit, and then him meeting up with Fennec Shand and all these other things, like you get all these really good, finally over like decades, good information on who is Boba Fett. And then you get 2 episodes of Mando. So I understand from that aspect where people get kind of angry, but I mean, for real, like the episodes with Mando, there weren't bad episodes, but at the same time, I understand that you want more Boba Fett. I'm sure we're going to get more Boba Fett on this episode, or at least a combination of the 2, of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. So I think, or maybe just call him Din Djarin or whatever his name is. But yeah, I mean, it's been great. Like, just people are complaining about literally having too much Star Wars shit. Could you imagine explaining to some kid in like the 1980s, I don't know, like me, that someday people are going to complain about having too much Star Wars shit to watch?
Yeah, I mean, especially after 1983, everyone thought there was never going to be any more Star Wars. Ever. There was no more Star Wars. And it took from 83 to 1999 for a new Star Wars like film. Don't get me wrong, there was content, but it's all books and games.
Yeah.
And not everybody reached.
And some holiday specials. Let's some holiday specials too that we cannot talk about.
And some prequels.
Special.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, I mean, the holiday special was the holiday special actually introduces Boba Fett. That's the first time he's on screen, which was right before Episode 5. After Star Wars Return of the Jedi,
really?
There was 2. Yeah, he's the first. That's the first time he's on screen. Is the Christmas special. Then after that, there's the 2 Ewok like TV films, which are on Disney Plus. You can watch them on Disney Plus now. And then there was nothing after that. Nothing for like literally 15 years or more. And then when you finally get the new stuff, like people kind of lost their minds, but then they're super critical. So it started a whole new wave of like toxic fandom, I guess. So, but then we got Star Wars, and when it ended in 2005, we thought, oh well, there's no more Star Wars, because George Lucas doesn't want to make anymore, or he doesn't plan on making anymore, and then he sold it. And then we got 3 more. And now we got TV shows. And we got more on the way. So it's a lot of stuff that we never thought was ever going to happen, and we're getting all kinds of it. So
the battle for Endor.
Mm-hmm. That was an interesting little one.
All right. Anywhere else we want to go tonight?
I just want to say we got to see Luke and Ahsoka in the same frame for the first time.
Oh yes.
Which was amazing.
Actually, I think they did a really good job with the whole. I don't want to say deep fake because that's what that shit was. They did a really good job.
It is a deep fake. It is a deep fake.
Because last time there was that Hidden Valley Canyon thing or whatever, where like the mouth and lips just look fucking weird.
The Hidden Valley Canyon, the Uncanny Valley. We ain't talking about ranch dressing, goddammit.
Yeah, we are. The Uncanny Valley.
That's all bad.
But no, the way Luke, whenever he spoke, like it just, you could tell like this, it was like CGI or whatever. But I think in this episode they kind of the workaround from that, they kind of didn't show him speak too much, and when he did speak, it kind of was kind of off camera.
Yeah, when he wasn't talking, I was like, that's a really good body double. But when he started talking, K-Mac pointed it out, like you can tell when he's talking. Like we're not quite there with talking, but like the face alone, the facial expressions, god damn, look just like him.
Did Luke, not Luke, what's his name? Mark Hamill, did he reprise his role doing the voice work, or
no?
Was it
he sounds way different.
He didn't. The voice is different because they said it was AI generated.
What?
I was like, what? Yeah, it's AI. Apparently, it was an AI generated voice.
Fucking Christ.
They literally posted a little snippet of what they did for the voice, and I was like, what the hell?
Is that like what was that guy who lost his voice? The
Roger Ebert?
Yeah, is that like a Roger Ebert thing?
Oh,
maybe
way more advanced.
No, wait, it wasn't. It was Val Kilmer.
Advanced.
It was Val Kilmer. They, for his documentary he made, like he couldn't talk anymore, and so they used snippet of his voice and basically made him do the commentary for his documentary.
Wow.
Yeah, it's probably like a different version because I mean Mark Hamill's still alive. They could have had him record it and just edit it, but apparently they have enough dialogue of him that they are able to play with it, do whatever AI that they use to generate it. You can read about it on I think Lucasfilm's Facebook page, and I think other outlets reported it too. It was super weird to me.
I just had a dark thought. After we either kill ourselves or AI kills us, I wonder if AI is still going to if they're going to make like TV shows of humans like how we were for their own entertainment. You know what I mean? That's going to be the thing.
It's all bad. It's all bad. They'll probably just make us looking like, Cro-Magnon or something. Like, this is what we used to be our overlords.
I mean, I think
look at them now.
We're stupid. I think we might, in some ways, we're actually dumber today than like the original, like early on humans. Because like we do so much stupid shit.
Yeah, I think we do because we can. I mean, perfect example is Jackass. I saw Jackass Forever. And it's like they purposely do stupid shit
I can't believe one of those dudes let Francis Ngannou punch him in the nuts.
Yes,
No.
he did, and he let him punch him in the nuts, and he just collapsed. He just like hit the wall and hit the ground. I thought he died. I thought he like fainted or something. But he was like convulsing.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's not just that. He's just the first one. So what they do, they let that dude punch him in the nuts hard, and then the second one after that, they have like the world's fastest softball pitcher hit him in the nuts with the softball. The thing is, she misses like 2 or 3 times, so she gets him in the thighs. You see welts like this fucking big on his thigh before she gets him in the nuts, and then they get the professional hockey player, this black dude. He comes in and he smashes his nuts. He wears a cup the entire time, granted, but
still
apparently there's not enough protection because he gets in the goalie gear instead for his nuts, and he puts his nuts in the cup. Dude pegs him with the hockey puck right in the nuts. He just collapses. They show the cup afterward. There's this huge, it's a dent like this, right where his nuts was. I was like, dude, what the fuck? It was so crazy. Like, it's so weird to me.
Guys?
Too old.
It's weird. Yeah. It's like, dude, they show a lot of fucking dick and nuts in this fucking movie. Like, the things that they do to their nuts, no man should ever think of doing. Ever. Why would you do this? Why? It's so ridiculous. Like,
dude, Johnny Knoxville is 50 years old.
Yeah, the last thing they do with the guy with the cup, it's the same dude every time. They get a pogo stick. They get a pogo stick to jump on his nuts while he wears a cup. That's the one that probably did the most damage because they show his nuts and his nuts are black and blue. Fucking damaged fucking nuts. I'm like, dude, he's probably never going to have kids.
Yeah.
Unless he already has kids and he ain't never having no more. Yeah. It was all bad. They had put this other dude, they put his nutsack in a dollhouse. So they drilled a hole in the dollhouse. They put his nuts in it, and they put this drill. They outfitted this like drill or whatever, or I don't know what it is, but it's an alternating like something, and they put these fake like boxing hands. So they're able to change the speed of it. So it literally you see them with these nuts going in, and it has these like miniature. It's like they cut off the hands of an action figure and put it on this like drill thing, and they like speed it up. So it shows him like
Rock and Soccer Robots.
Yeah, like that.
But it's like on his drill thing. And it's like Johnny Knoxville holds his drill thing and just beats this dude's nuts, and his nuts turn black and blue. And he's literally in it for like 10 seconds. Pulls the nuts out. So like that wasn't long enough. We gotta do this. So what? He's like, yeah, we gotta do this again. So they put his nuts back in it. They show another dude pull his nuts through the fucking hole. I'm like, why are you handling some other dude's nuts? Like, what the fuck? And then he walks over and wipes his hand on the like cameraman's face. He's like, dude, you just touched his nuts. He's like, yeah, dude, how's that smell? I'm like, dude, this is terrible. And they do it again. They punch this dude's nuts with this weird ass drill. They do it in slow motion too.
See, I couldn't be friends with any of those people because if they would fuck me at all, like when I'm sleeping or doing anything, like I would just fuck you up. Like you just
yeah, it's all bad because they're like everyone is like on edge because they know something's probably going to happen, and sure enough, it does because they're like the director. He's just like, if you trust all of us and think that you're safe doing this and that, you're dumber than I thought. And sure enough, someone's just like, oh, I'm just going to do this. Boom, they get exploded, or boom, like something happens, or boom, horse nut, some shit. There's always some kind of crazy ass prank. I'm like, dude, one of the pranks knocks out fucking Johnny Knoxville. He has broken wrist, broken rib. I'm like, god dang, dude.
I gotta say though, like Jackass, obviously it's ridiculous. It's funny, even though I shouldn't be laughing because they're in pain, but they're doing it for laughs, so whatever. I'm in on the joke. But
so, I mean,
one of the best,
they quote unquote say they're stuntmen.
Yeah, but still, it's a lot of human suffering. But that's what they're getting paid for, so whatever. Jackass 3D is the greatest 3D movie of all fucking time. I've said it many times on this podcast. They need to re-release it in 3D in the theaters because they released it on home video, but it was in the shitty ass like red and blue fucking 3D. I watched Jackass 3 in the theaters, and I almost had a fucking seizure in the first 15 fucking seconds. Because it was so much, like, some graffiti shit was, not graffiti, what do you call it? Oh, what was the name of that shit?
Like
I can't remember.
String type shit?
No, not silly string. Like, god damn, I seriously can't remember the name of it.
Is it confetti?
Like confetti. There we go. It was like little pieces of paper, like a fucking idiot. It was like at the very beginning, it's like a bunch of confetti, and it was just like, dude, there was so much shit going on the screen right now. My brain was just like, this is too much, and that was just the beginning. And there's like a bunch of other shit that was just like crazy 3D effects that were like really, really good.
So the beginning of Jackass Forever is not in 3D, but the same concept. There's a bunch of shit happening all at once on the screen, and it's literally. It's a fucking dick monster. They put like this fucking. They like.
Well, don't spoil the whole movie. Hold on, I think you're spoiling like a lot of the movie that just came out.
Oh no! There's a shit ton of shit that happens in this fucking.
I mean, but still, didn't it just come out?
Yeah, it came out like a week and a half ago.
That'd be like spoiling like like a normal movie.
There's so much shit that happens in this movie. It's ridiculous, and there's a lot of known faces that show up. So, I've only talked about like 2. This would be the 3rd one, but the beginning of the film is a lot of shit happening. It's crazy. I was like, there's a lot of shit happening for this like opening sequence. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny, but man, those guys, they put their bodies on the line for like just stupidity.
Yeah.
But also they're getting paid.
Bad.
Also they're getting paid more than me, so maybe not that stupid.
Whatever.
Maybe. The youngest person on the team is at least out of the 3 top people, like out of Bam, Steve-O, and John Knoxville. Bam is 42, while Steve-O is 47.
Well, Bam isn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, it listed him on it.
Yeah, he probably filmed some stuff, but they kicked him off because he couldn't stay sober. So.
I know Steve-O had a drinking problem.
Yeah, but Steve-O went clean, and he's in the movie a lot.
Steve-O had more than a drinking problem.
Yeah,
he had a drugs problem, problem,
or he had a vice problem. I feel bad because they're old, and I'm like, dude, this is probably gonna take you longer to recover, or you may not survive some of this shit that you're doing, but they do. So it's a wild fucking movie, just like the other ones. I feel like there's more people this time around, but
yeah, it's like I guess they have some new blood in there because I see Eric Andrews is on there.
Oh, Eric Andre, yeah, he's in the trailer though. You pretty much see what happens in the trailer, so it's still pretty funny. A lot of shit happens. A lot of shit that I was like, this should never be in the thought process of any grown man. That's my semi-spoilery Jackass Forever review.
Would you like to wrap it up?
Sure, we can wrap it up. Blue, take us into the wrap process.
All right, fellas. Let's go with Old Ninja. What you got? Crackling, populating into the next episode.
Hold on, for everybody that's listening, just understand what just happened. I asked Old Ninja, "You want to wrap it up?" Then Old Ninja said, "Blue, you want to wrap it up?" Then Blue goes, "Old Ninja, why don't you start?" We just did that. That just happened on this podcast.
It did. Wait, hold on. That's probably not the first time it's happened, though. It's probably just the first time you called it out.
Yeah. It's funny.
There's 3 of us on here, and he was the last one to talk, so that's why I just went with him.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Proceed.
So apparently this weekend is some fake-ass holiday about some Saint Valentine dude, whatever. You're supposed to get chocolates or whatever.
Oh, shit, that is this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Monday.
It's on Monday, I guess. But it's not like y'all gonna take Monday off. Y'all gotta work on Monday. Don't get it twisted.
I might take Monday off. I don't know. I mean, not for that, but just because I don't want to fucking work.
Yeah, no. Actually, I'm gonna probably be in the city on Friday because I'm helping a friend. He's having some surgery and he's probably gonna need a ride. So we planned this out.
Oh.
But,
I was gonna do the surgery.
No, I'm not getting. She's getting surgery, so I'm kind of on call in case he needs a ride back to the valley. So I'm gonna be helping him out.
Old Ninja is now known as like you're like a mob doctor.
Gotta keep that thing on
your night job, mob doctor.
Is that the name of the podcast now?
Yes, it is.
Damn. I'll be playing a lot of Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six Extraction games got me kind of sucked in. Even though I'm still playing, I went back to Mass Effect. I'm gonna be picking up was it Horizon Forbidden West on Tuesday? So I'm going to be immersed in that when that comes out. I'm still on the fence about Dying Light 2, even though Prodigy's raving about it. I guess he's like barely scratched the surface on it, but he's really liking it. I'm going to wait because apparently there's been some okay reviews. Like I've seen like it's getting 6 and 7s here and there, and I guess there's some stuff that they need to fix. There's supposed to be a patch, I think, coming really soon.
Yeah, Prodigy said it was fixed for him because I know that. And I that's consensus for right now, but apparently, like the review copies of the game were very buggy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and give it a little bit of time. I'm more excited for Horizon Forbidden West. I know I'm gonna be balls deep in that game when it drops. I'm gonna be playing that
on the PS4. You're playing it. I'm just want to be clear for everybody else that wants to know.
Yes, I will be playing on the PS4, but apparently the PS4 one runs and it won't be. Hopefully, I'm praying it doesn't become like a Cyberpunk situation where it runs great on PS5 and then PS4 it's like fucking Atari 2600 shit.
I mean, it's made by a Sony studio, so
yeah, I get it, but I'm just hoping there's no like loss between one or the other version. But I highly doubt it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. That's why I'm really excited. I can't wait to play in that world again and see what the West Coast is like in like 1,000 years into the future or some shit or whatever.
Side. You already know this one, and you've been around for a while, so.
Yeah, but I'm not in the future. I'm from the past, like back when Cleopatra was around and shit. Not like when robots and shit are all over the continental U.S.
We're getting there.
What else was I missing? Yeah, that's kind of about it. I actually get a day off this weekend, so I'm gonna use that to my full advantage. But I'm kind of on call doing my mob boss stuff, so.
Mob doctor.
That's what I said.
You said mob boss.
Yeah, exactly.
That too? Okay. Mob boss doctor.
Oh, well, Carrie-Anne Moss is playing a character in Horizon Zero.
Yes.
Horizon Forbidden West.
I love it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. All right. Kronos, what you got going on this week?
Things are still getting done with Rescue Residents, the nonprofit that Papa Bear started, and I'm the interim CFO for. That's fucking weird to say. I'm a CFO for our company, but whatever. Yeah, we're getting stuff done. We're gonna, I believe Matt from Pre-Recorded Live is picking up the ambulance this weekend, so that's pretty exciting for us. We had some cool meetings with a business mentor this week. We also had a board meeting last week, which is pretty cool. And we're moving forward. We have a bunch of stuff we have to do, and I'm looking forward to getting some of that done tomorrow and Friday. And I'm also preparing to hopefully move sometime soon. So I'm going to meet with a realtor next week. Me and K-Mac, we're going to do another purge of the house. We're going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. I'm literally renting a dumpster and just starting to just toss stuff. So it's going to be really weird because when we plan on moving to SoCal, we're going to move into a much larger place. This is the smallest house I've ever lived in, is the house we're in now. It's super small.
Really?
Yeah, by far. Okay. The house that I had, even though the house in Union City was bigger than this house, by like a lot.
Is that the 2-story one?
No, the one in Union City, the first time you met me.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
That was like the party house.
Epic 2 night. Yeah.
That's because you had a tree of life in the back.
Too. Yeah, I had an avocado and an apple tree. It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna go from like this tiny house. We're gonna purge a bunch of stuff. We've purged like 3 times since we lived here, but we still have a garage full of crap we're not using. So we're gonna throw all that away, a bunch of other crap away, and then move into a much larger place, which is gonna be half empty when we move in. So that's gonna be weird. But I'm looking forward to the move. I'm gonna miss living here, but I think it's time for me and K-Mac to get kind of a fresh start somewhere new, but also near Prodigy and my brother. And yeah, I think both me and K-Mac, we've kind of lost some connections with like family up here. Obviously, I consider you guys family as well, but
Yeah.
like our like blood family.
Mm.
I mean, my mom passed, my dad's gone, and there's some other stuff too that's going on. But I think it's just time for us to go and, you know, live down there. So, yeah.
So wait, real quick,
Sure.
you said that you're moving. Are you moving to a partially furnished home, or
No,
you
we're
said
moving.
half empty?
Well, when we move into whatever place we're going to move into, it's probably going to be at least double the size of this place.
Yeah.
So we only have so much stuff. It's not going to. We don't have. If we move into a place that's double the size of this place, we don't have a lot of stuff to put in that new place.
Yeah, no, I
so
thought
it's going to be half
the
empty.
way that the way that you said it, I thought you said you were gonna move into a place that is half empty. So I thought you were moving to a partially furnished.
No. To specify, I'm going to move into a place and it's going to be half empty with our stuff.
Okay, yeah,
just,
that's what the part. That's why I was confused. I was like, wait, is this partially furnished? Because like, I've seen homes in Texas that were like fully furnished except for like one room, which is weird. But it was like, it had like everything, like even rugs. There's like rugs and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? You gonna move in? Is this somebody else's stuff? They're like, no, this is like this stuff. I guess the realtor. I don't know if the previous family left or if they like it just came with the house. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, some people do that. Like they leave stuff behind. I'm just like, no, you can let that go. Like get it all out of here. Goodbye.
Well, like I like. There's what like when I went to this first time home buyer program, they were talking about like blinds and curtains for your window. Like a lot of times people take that shit with them, even though like most likely that stuff is gonna fit their new home. I mean, unless it's curtains, it's pretty universal. But like blinds and stuff, like they'll take that shit with them. It's like, dude, like you could have just left that. Like,
it's kind of a dick move. Yeah, I leave all my stuff behind because I mean, window furnishings, leave those behind, but like other stuff, anything, in like appliances, maybe like as far as like the refrigerator and stuff goes, like leave those. Most people leave those behind.
Washing dryers people take because those things are fucking expensive.
Yeah, I mean, so are refrigerators too, though. I mean,
yeah, true.
All of them are expensive.
Yeah. So anyway,
there's one thing that came up that says like you should leave like TV mounts at the house that you're moving out of.
That's a 50-50 for me. Because, like, dude, if you put that up yourself, I'm going to be like, dude, I know how to put this up. The second time through should be easier. I'm taking what's mine.
Well,
yeah, I thought that was really weird, too. But then again, it's like, I guess if you patch up the holes and the next person tried to mount it and they kind of, like, I'm pretty sure the people who fill in the holes aren't filling it correctly. So when the person goes to mount their TV, they might be slightly in the new hole and slightly create a new hole, so the hole's actually bigger, and that shit ends up fucking falling off because it ends up stripping the wood or whatever. But that's some shit that came up.
I was just thinking about it because, like, in the Infinity base, so this is technically a shed, and the 2x4s are not spaced out the same spacing as like a house, so like they're way wider. And so if somebody like went to go mount a TV in this, they would be very confused on like how to mount it because the 2x4s are not where you expected them to be. So actually, my thing is where the 2x4s are, I have to like put 2x4s like in between it, like long 2x4s to like make like an actual like.
So you like
it's like a mount. It's like a mount.
You put 2x4s into the wall. Did you mount the mount onto the 2x4s?
And I'll probably leave that up, but actually maybe I might leave the mount too. I could buy a new mount. I don't really care, but yeah. All the other mounts I have in my house. I only have one other mount in the house. I'll probably take that with me. But yeah, I mean, I guess it would be sort of normal to leave like mounts because you just buy new ones.
Yeah, and the house we bought, like when we did the tour, there were the TV mounts on the wall, and they took that shit with them. But like you could see exactly where the holes were, and like I tried to stay away from them because I didn't want to like drill into the holes, and my shit ended up slipping off the wall and falling or some shit.
Yeah, because you never know like how sturdy it is. If they're you could check if they're in 2x4s, but. Because a lot of people, they do like their mounts like not in 2x4s. Don't do that.
If they use like wall anchors.
Wall anchors, yeah, don't do that. Like, do you trust like a $5 wall anchor to your $1,000 TV?
Yeah.
Like no. Like trust a 2x4. Like the 2x4, will hold your shit. Like drywalls are not designed to hold that sort of weight. even with those crazy anchor mounts or whatever.
Is that all you got going off this weekend?
Yeah. What do you got, Blue? Oh, actually, no. Hold on.
This week?
Planet of the Younger. Oh, sorry. SF Beer Week starts.
Oh, that's right.
This weekend.
This Friday?
Yeah. Well, technically Friday, but I'm not going to do any real events. I know the Bistro has a double IPA fest, which is like literally down the street from both me and Blue. I just bought the what the winners are. You can buy a pack for like $100, so I did that, and I'll pick it up in late February. They have the Younger that's going to get served there on Saturday. Planet of the Younger is going to get served there on Saturday. But I know they're also going to have it next week, probably on Thursday. So I might just take all next week off just to see like when they're going to have the Younger. Yes, I'll take a whole week off of work just for the Younger. I don't give a fuck. But I really want to get it.
PTO or not?
Yeah. Well, I got plenty of PTO. I've got too much PTO. Seriously, I have like over 300 hours of PTO, so I'm good. So yeah, I'll probably do that. But yeah, I'm not going to do like my normal SF Beer Week thing because of COVID still. Next year, I'll probably do it. This year, just timing's bad. Omicron's almost done, but it's not done enough for me. But I'm going to get back to real life, probably jiu-jitsu later on this month. So I'm looking forward to that. I got to talk to Kamek about it. But yeah, I need to get back to trying to kill people again.
Yeah.
Oh, before Blue gets on, are y'all going to watch the Super Bowl this Sunday?
I was going to bring that up. So I was going to say, I'm mainly looking forward to the Super Bowl halftime show because we got Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige. I think Kendrick Lamar is going to be up in there.
Maybe
some other folks going to be in there
There'll be
too.
some guests. There'll be some special guests.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Just
I'm
hearing some old school rap songs.
I got to be that guy. It's hard for me to watch to watch the NFL. No, it's really hard. This is my opinion. You guys can have a differing opinion. I'm not going to be offended at all. But like the way they treated, Colin Kaepernick was fucked up. The fact that they have proven to basically
sweep shit under the rug.
Yeah, not even just sweep shit under the rug, but like literally suppress potential black coaches has been a serious issue. There's been issues with like black quarterbacks traditionally in the NFL, and them covering up CTE and shit like that have been a serious issue. And this organization is just doing the bare minimum to really address any of these issues. And I think it's fucked up. And people are just like, oh, well, they get paid millions of dollars. Yeah, they're getting paid millions of dollars, but they're still an employee. They're still an employee. So this is no longer an excuse for like people that say that anymore. Like, they're still people. They're putting their lives on the line for this shit, and they're getting fucked up. And the NFL has like a history of racist bullshit. And I don't know how much I want to support an organization like that anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But feel free to watch it if you guys want to. I might watch a little bit of it. But yeah, after that shit, it's been hard for me to watch. And I'm not the only one. So.
Oh, of course not. But I'm going to be watching it.
Yeah, feel free.
I mean, for all the negative shit that they had. Especially, I mean, no one really, I know they did back in the day, just little tangent. Warren Moon, when he was quarterbacking, he got a lot of shit, and a lot of it wasn't public. Yep. He just took it in stride. He just kept it going. He had a lot of shit happen to him off the field and in the locker room, but he still went in and did what he needed to do. His team, the coaches trusted him. He actually put up decent numbers. I don't think he won a Super Bowl, but he got close, or close as he could be. So, but then again, I mean, Warren Moon, he was a quarterback for
the Oilers.
Yeah, I don't follow sports.
He's the Oilers, right?
Yeah. I think it was the Houston Oilers. But the NFL, they only try when they get called out. So, I guess they do give a lot of young men from the inner city the opportunity to get millions, but I feel like they need to. I mean, usually to get mentors that are like superstars, but I still feel like they need to. I don't know if they do. They probably do. Maybe the guys just don't listen, but they need some kind of like financial coaching to not like bring the hood to the NFL, because they're working for an organization and they need to, be representative of themselves and their team instead of like buying a bunch of guns and doing a bunch of dumb shit. So, but yeah, I'm still gonna watch. I mean, all the NFL can do is get better. I don't think they can get any worse. So here's hoping for the best, but expecting the worst.
Yeah, they're just about that money. They don't care too much about their players as long as they're making them money.
Okay,
That's
Blue.
what it all comes down to.
What do you finally got? I will not cut you off again. I'm sorry.
Well, also, we have Valentine's Day coming up, so the Sweetness and I are gonna go. We're gonna venture out into the pandemic and hopefully have a nice dinner together. We got a babysitter lined up, so it's gonna be a nice little date night, just the two of us. But we might change it up and actually bring our son with them, with us. But speaking of that little guy, he's just moving and grooving. Like, this kid does not want to stay still. If he could be outside of his playpen, he will be outside of his playpen. And if you're not holding him while he walks, he's gonna try to force you to hold his hand so he can walk around. Like, he loves fucking walking around. But like, if you get him on like crawling, but I would say he goes from like two wheel drive to 4-wheel drive. Once he's in 4-wheel drive, that kid is just all over the place. And it's just cool to see how he's growing and like how he's learning things. And like the other day, he went to touch the heater, and I told him no, and I kind of said it like kind of loud, but it freaked him out. Like, it was the first time I ever made him cry, which was kind of sad, but like, he was about to touch a heater. I didn't want him to touch the heater, and like, he's at the age where he can start to understand things like that. Like, he understands like no, and like there's kind of consequences to things, but like he can't like process it all together. But it's just fun watching him grow, and he's just super super happy baby, and like he's kind of understanding the difference between dada and mama, and because he'll call for me, and like once he sees me he'll say dada, and I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking dope. Or like if he wants me, like if I come into the room he'll say like dada, and like oh shit, this kid knows who I am. But he also does the same for Nancy when he says mama. So it's amazing, it's fascinating, this little guy. But I think we are like about 34 days until he's 1, which is kind of crazy. So we're kind of planning out his birthday. We don't really know what we're doing, but we got like decorations and stuff. But yeah, I can't believe he's gonna be 1 soon.
Time flies, man. Keeps getting faster. That's why people smoke weed. I'm just saying, slows it down for you.
Damn.
I think about doing a little something after the podcast.
Damn. Yeah, I almost cut into Blue's thing. He's like, oh, we're gonna take him with us. I'm like, you going to the movies, Blue? You okay?
No.
It's like, only if it's after 10 o'clock.
I prefer to watch a movie at home.
Yeah. I do too, because it's nice to drink, have popcorn, and not worry about driving home.
Exactly.
Yeah, just watch your bed.
You don't have to worry about like people talking in the movie. Only person you got to worry about talking about the movie with your significant other asking you questions about like what's happening.
So when you tell them to shut the fuck. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
You get fucked up in your own home.
He's all, I done told you once already.
Oh, but also like I'm watching Attack on Titans, which is fucking great. I think that series is coming up to wrap soon. It's people getting fucked up. Demon Slayer they're doing the whole Mugen Train. Well, at least where I'm at, they're doing the Mugen Train. I don't know if they've picked up a new arc, but it's just that anime just gangbusters, so much fun. But there's another anime I started watching. There's a Chinese show that's on YouTube called it's called I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically about this girl who she's riding on the bus and the bus explodes, but then all of a sudden she wakes up and it's like a few minutes before the explosion, and like she's like freaking out because it's almost like Final Destination / Deja Vu. So it's like she basically keeps repeating the same thing over and over, and she's trying to stop everything from happening. And like it's interesting because it's in Chinese and like they have English subtitles, but the English subtitles go so fucking fast. Like I have to like pause it so I can read it so I can for the next, because it seriously goes by so fast. Let me see what it's called. I want to say it's not Erase. So it's on YouTube. It's like
go ahead,
like
look it up. I'll fill in for you. Look it up. There's another show that's called All of Us Are Dead, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
So that's basically if you liked High School of the Dead, it's sort of like that. I just watched part of the first episode. I'm still trying to get into it. It's starting a little bit slow, but there's already like the semi-origins of like zombieism, and it's just like it's kind of crazy how it starts like with high school students and like a teacher, and shit gets fucked up really, really quickly. Blue, you found it?
Oh, no, I'm still looking for it.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's cool to see like Korean shows on the come up because Korea makes a bunch of really good shows, entertainment in general. Because I think they've been really influenced by American culture. So I think that it's really easy for us as an American society to like reabsorb like American influenced themes back into American culture. So that's why it's been really cool to see, Squid Game be so popular in America, and now this show, All of Us Are Dead. It's sort of a similar thing.
Don't forget Parasite.
Yeah, Parasite.
Isn't there another Korean film that's nominated for Best Picture?
Forget what the fuck it was. No, there was another one too. Yeah, there's been a few. And obviously Korea has they have really good entertainment. And K-pop has been great. That's also a huge throwback to if you watch K-pop, it's like throwbacks to 90s R&B.
Yeah.
So that's what's really cool. You found it now?
Extremely well choreographed. Yes, I did. So it's called Reset. It's called Reset. It's posted up on the YouTube channel. It's called Yo English channel. So it's kind of fan dubbed.
Yo.
But yeah, the show's pretty crazy. It's every episode's about 45 minutes long, so it is a bit on the longer side with no commercial breaks or whatever. But it's definitely very entertaining so far, and it's like one of those drama, it's like a TV drama thing that's going on. But the girl and this guy, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to save all these people's lives, and every time she tries to save somebody, they end up dying another way. So it's kind of like one it's almost like how in What If Homegirl's death is a constant, she has to die. So it's almost like that where even though they try to save these people, they end up dying a different way, but still kind of in that same facility, which is kind of crazy.
It's like Edge of Tomorrow. Oh, which apparently they want. I guess Warner Brothers is shopping around an idea to make a TV series. I really like Edge of Tomorrow. I've seen that movie a lot.
Bless you.
You like that? It's my ventriloquy.
Oh, now y'all got COVID. Sorry, you're getting it. I'm just saying.
Yep. Again.
All right.
I definitely don't want. I definitely do not want that again. That was not fun.
Oh, Ninja, what's
do you know which? Oh. I was gonna say, do you know which version of COVID did you have? Because
no, I didn't. So I just did the test, and it just said positive or negative. It doesn't give you. It doesn't tell you if it indicates which one you got.
You did the home test?
So, yeah, I did a home test, and I did 2 separate home tests from 2 separate manufacturers. So,
yeah. Well, no,
no, I tested 3 times. So 2 were, because each home test gives you two tests.
Yeah.
I did both tests from one manufacturer, and I did a 3rd test 5 days later or 6 days later, and then it's from a different manufacturer, and then. So, yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a close call last week. Somebody had tested positive at my son's daycare.
Same with Riley. Somebody tested positive on I think Sunday, and they were in school on Friday, and so we had to get her tested, and she came up negative. So yeah,
dude, trying to test a baby it's hard because they don't understand what's going on. You're sticking something up their nose, and it's not comfortable, and they're like, "Stop it! I don't want this."
Mm-hmm.
The stuff you do with the little kid, it's kind of sad, especially when it comes to sucking out boogers out of the nose.
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, Ninja, take us out of here.
What the fuck? Oh shit! All right. Well, you just experienced the Black and the Black Times Infinity, the dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out anywhere and everywhere with BthanBTI. That's BTHANBTI. You can email us at BthanBTI@gmail.com. We have a Discord. Email us if you want to join, and then check us out on Amazon. We have an app to let you know when you go live, and you can watch us on there, and then check out our official website, binheadproductions.com/BthanBTI.
Infinity.
And then if you're listening through whatever, however you found us, Apple, iHeartRadio, what's the other one? Spotify or whatever. We have we go live. Yeah, Facebook. We go live on YouTube every Wednesday, 8:30 Pacific.
8:30-ish.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, 8:30-ish. CP 8:30 CP time. There you go.
And we hope you like the new audio, because yeah, I actually went back because Blue said that it sounded 100% better, and I went back and listened to like the last episode and that was episode before that, and I was like, holy shit, yeah, it sounds a lot better. So hopefully you can all appreciate it.
Gone.
So yeah, the echo's gone. Audio qualities just went way up. I wish the rest of you guys had this similar microphone because it works. It's a USB plug-in. You don't have to get the SMB7. This one's like, I think it's the MV7. This is the podcast mic. It's cheaper, but it's not $400, but it's not cheap. But it works good.
So there you go.
All right.
Later.